God has endowed the British race with a worldwide empire. The victories you will have over the heathen are the victories of the nobler soul in man.
God save the Queen!
God save free! God save free! God save free! All together!
Though we be on the far side of the world, this ship is our home. This ship is England.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is SJJMAS 2025 with the Masonic number 11 with Tharium. Welcome, bro.
Hello there.
Now, this is the main event that you have been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, This was a fight demanded by Blood Honor last night in the chat.
That was terrible.
Look at Bruce. Bruce is already 9/11 posting here. So let's cut to the chase. What's your big problem, bro? Come on, spit it all out. What's wrong with a global technocratic order?
Just saying those words you don't think, well, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah. By the way, just before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, you must not throw money at me. I don't want your money this year. Okay? I want you to invest in yourselves. If you get the itch to throw money at me this year, I want you to invest in your children. Invest in yourself, okay? Go and buy some Ethereum and don't look at it for 10 years. In 2035, you're allowed to look at it and come back and thank me. Okay, that's the announcement.
Arm yourselves. Buy weapons.
You're not allowed to say that in the UK. That was a joke.
For collectible purposes.
Well, just invest in yourselves, okay? That's the message of this year. We're done with all this nonsense of waiting for a savior. We've got to save ourselves. So, Tharium, let us commence the main event.
Yes.
Yes. You have a problem
with AI.
And that problem is AI.
It's not really. I'm not against AI in general. Like the large language models, they're basically just an advanced search engine, and they still lie and make stuff up. But I mean, you get bad stuff with just a normal Google search, right? Because it's
sure.
So you can't really help that at the moment. But yeah, they're, as an advanced search engine, they're pretty good. They can do stuff. I like that. The image generation stuff, that's also fun. I like that it is terrifying, like all of Hollywood. You got all these like faggots going, oh no, AI is going to take our jobs and make our movies. Brilliant. You know, it's not like you lot have been doing any good. So it pisses them off. But it isn't staying like that, is it? You know, it would be nice. My perfect AI future is where we're all just running our own local systems locally. We could do it on our home computers. That'd be great. Like, did you see what PewDiePie did?
No, tell me.
So PewDiePie he spent about $20,000 on graphics cards to make his AI rig. And you know, he's a millionaire, he can do that. But
yes,
you know, but if it wasn't for this sort of how things are going, that sort of level of computing power over the coming years would get a lot cheaper and easier for normal people to afford. So he's got all these graphics on this rig, and he was creating his own AI sort of system. Had like this council of them, and he was having them sort of decide stuff, and then they eventually tried turning on him as their god. And so that's great. That would be great if we could all do that, and we could not have it to worry about all this shit. But they don't want you doing that. They want to control it. And
Sure.
and it's also, I mean, I mentioned a bit earlier how how insane it's going. It's like there's anti-consumer, and then I think we're getting into anti-human because it's become so all-consuming. It seems in these investments, just trillions being pumped into this shit, and like Nvidia is obviously the main culprit behind this with these data centers and these GPUs, and you're seeing, and like I mentioned, Micron have decided they are no longer going to be doing consumer grade RAM. So this affects everything. This affects your computers, your phones, everything. The prices have skyrocketed of RAM. So just owning any sort of actual computer or phone is going to become a really expensive luxury. I mean, you imagine not having a computer these days. You can't function, let alone in the AI future. What the fuck are you going to do then without a computer? Well, they've thought of that. You will rent it from them forever. And it's just so sinister. It's going on. It's all the same shit that we've had, of owning nothing and being happy. This is, and you can call it a conspiracy theory, but they're talking about it on their own fucking websites. So, and this is clearly the plan. You see it with houses, right? Like so many people think houses are now out of reach. When, a few decades ago, you could work a part-time summer job and buy yourself a little place. That's gone. Now we've got to permanently rent houses because because we cannot compete with these capital who buy up these houses, or these rich fucking Arabs who just buy them up, turn them into permanent rentals. So as a permanent income. So housing equals money to them, and we can't compete with that. So okay, we won't own a house. Maybe we can own something. Can we own a computer? Nope. We're being priced out of that now.
Right.
So
Goldfinch says you're a doomer.
It's really concerning, this, because I don't see what we are, because like ownership.
Yeah, let it all out, bro. Let it all out, and then I'm going to respond. Hit me with your best shots here. Come on, go for the chin.
Ownership of just things is essential, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't. But we won't be able to do that because we just can't afford it. And because how are they gonna get their money back from all this AI? Well, I don't know. It's clearly they will own all computing. That seems to be the plan now. And what's more is, it's not even. They're also taking a load of taxpayer money to build out all this stuff. So the taxpayers are having to foot the bill for all this stuff, and we get fuck all in return. We get nothing. And then, you could hope that maybe electricity will go down. That's not going to happen. As you're saying, in these places next to these currently for the plans, the AI data centers that they've got at the moment, tiny little places. But the people who live around them, their energy prices have skyrocketed because energy is going to be siphoned from us and fed to the AI data center god. We'll have none of that. And then there's all the pollution that they cause, because you get gallons and gallons of water needs to go into cooling them, and that's all dumped out. It's becoming just really just awful. It just seems.
Okay. All right. I need to respond. So look, we are in the early adoption phase. If you're not excited about this future potential that is on the horizon, then what I feel like, and I'm not just aiming this at you, right? When I say, understand if I use the term you, I'm like doing a collective you. Yeah. I'm aiming this at all, mainly like people on the distant right and people who feel disenfranchised, who feel this collective sense of not being part of something that is steamrolling ahead. And mark my words, it is going to steamroll ahead with or without you. So what I see it as infectious leftist framing, whereby you feel that you are part of the disenfranchised class. It's like the proletariat versus the capitalists, and people don't really realize that they're in this kind of mind prison where it's like an us versus them mentality. And really, it's only your view of how the world works and your place in it, and it's kind of a self-imposed limitation whereby you see yourself in that position currently, probably due to economic status. I get it, but you have an enormous potential future in front of you in terms of years of potential in which you can work and you can accumulate, and with the right kinds of investments and the right kinds of interests and putting your intention into the right kinds of things, become part of the ownership of this future, to invest.
I don't think you can. Like you
Oh, sure
like,
you can.
oh no. You're never going to be
All of
at
us
that
can.
level. No. Like, okay, you get your moonshots, become a millionaire.
Yes.
You'll still be a slave of this system. You won't be able. That's the problem. You will still be in this AI panopticon. You're not going to be. You're not going to. None of us are going to be able to elevate ourselves to the insane level that it takes, like the Bill Gates level, to get out of its reach.
Well, I'm not suggesting that you're going to become a Bill Gates or an Elon Musk or or even one of the billionaires. You know, here's the truth though. It's not technically out of the question.
You'll have a slightly bigger AI pod. That's all the dream is.
This comes down to like a concept of what you believe that freedom truly is. And I mean, if I would argue that if you have freedom of wealth in the future, then essentially you have the capacity to do what you want, have a good life, spend your time where you wish.
You have listened to Elon Musk saying how money's going to become a thing of the past. This is the
but this is
you're
just
never
Elon
going to
Musk,
control
bro.
it. Yeah, but you're never going to control this. Like, okay, I mean, money's already fake, right? And it's you're not going to have control over this. You'll always be
Let's just answer this one. Is SJJ going to get a digital ID? Well, I've already practically got it, bro. It's just currently. Here's the thing. Yeah, pro digital ID, I suppose.
Oh no!
Right. But listen, because in order to get a gig economy job, right, then I have to use third-party apps, to get onboarded into Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, any of these things. You have to use one of these verified companies. So this is a private company that is then partnering with the government, and you have to, with your phone, you have to scan your driving license, take a photograph of your passport, then stand in front of a white wall, click on the camera on your phone, video your face from left to right, and say like, I declare allegiance to the global empire into the phone. And then it verify. It says, give me 2 minutes. I'm verifying your identity, and then you get a check mark, and you're good to go. So you have to do this anyway in the system to be part to onboard into any kind of online work. So I'm already fully on board, bro. They've got my information.
There is a difference between this, which is sort of your side of things, you're in control of it, and then the government digital ID, where everything goes through them first.
The government's got your ID.
I know it does, but when it's, at the moment, it can't. You can do all sorts of stuff without having to go through the government.
I mean, I understand the fear. All right, the digital ID. Here's the only downside of it. I honestly think it's like you're being infected again. Not you, but the collective you being infected by this fear, which is like leftist fear. It's minorities who are terrified of digital ID. It genuinely is, actually. They are terrified of it because they're the illegal workers and they're the corrupt ones, and they're the ones that are using 25 Amazon accounts between one of them. I encounter this phenomenon all the time.
You're falling for that fallacy of Or if you've got nothing to hide, it's not a problem.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how it works. We've seen what happens in China, right? And China aren't
We're
even
not
as bad
China,
as we
though.
are. Yeah, we're worse. We're so much
Well-
worse, right? I think if you gave Keir Starmer China's level of like spying and everything that they have on their own people, and I think he'd be worse. And plus, you got like again the AI sort of people like Larry Ellison talking about how the plan is just the total AI panopticon. We are always surveilled, and that's why we will be on our best behavior. It's so
Here's the thing. We're not China, for one. We're not China. We have to understand that. The second thing is, right, I hear this all the time. If you have, these people, if you've nothing to be afraid, if you've nothing to hide, what do you have to be afraid of? Or however you phrase it. Well, here's the thing. What do you have to hide, really? Like, what? You can get away with a lot, right? Why hasn't Brutus been arrested yet? Why haven't I been arrested? We go online, connect via our regular IPs to the government, to YouTube. They've got full access. No,
which is a layer of which I know it's not perfect, but it's a layer.
As long as I get it, in the UK, the hate speech laws are pretty draconian. I'd like all that rolled back. I much prefer a freer thing, but it is generally, you just have to be sensible about what you say. And of course, I would rather a lot of that roll back. Free speech, like in America. I'm not going to argue against anything about that. But I'm just saying, it is generally the idiots who fall foul of it. It really is. It's like the fools are falling foul of it. If you know just how to navigate
But they are ratcheting it, aren't they?
They are.
It up slowly,
I get it.
everything's getting worse, and you don't notice. I mean, like
This is
Australia,
an argument for non-leftist governments.
I mean, look at what happened in Australia, right? They had that shooting, and then the government response is, "How could the far right do this? We've got to crack down on them."
Yeah, sure. Get it, but we're not China. We're not China yet.
I think
we're not Russia.
I think you're giving our politicians too much credit because they'd love to be. They're just doing it slowly, little bit at a time. China went through all this quickly a while ago.
How is Brutus still allowed to do his show a year into the Keir Starmer right?
Are we suggesting Brutus is a Fed?
Well, I hadn't considered that one. But will you take the vax? No, I won't. I won't do that. That's bodily autonomy. I'm fully down for bodily autonomy, 100%. This is different. This is different towards... Look, I advocate for immersing yourself in the system, right? Because there's a lot to get away with. There's a lot that you can get away with, and you're missing out. If you impose this prison upon yourself, people say, I am the one imposing the prison on me, where is it? Alphabet Cat. You're building your own prison, SJJ. How am I doing that? How am I doing that when it's literally leading me towards financial independence, towards, feeling more mentally healthy, more, optimistic about the future? I don't feel like I'm imprisoning myself at all. You will when you get your digital ID revoked, SJJ. You can't get your digital ID revoked. That's not how it works. We do not have the social credit system. The government already knows who you are. They have all your information. You can't hide from the government. So...
Yep. And 12,000 people get arrested every year.
All you people who are watching through a VPN, I mean, what's wrong with you? What are you afraid? You're afraid to watch my show through a VPN when I'm not afraid to broadcast it without one. I mean, get a grip on yourself.
Are you saying you're a Fed? Oh dear.
Yeah, but honestly, there are people in the chat who are afraid to watch these shows without a VPN because they think, I don't know what they think. I used to be a privacy bro, actually, and all it did was make me lose loads of information that really mattered to my life when I broke my phone one day and I said, never again. Convenience actually is king. And from that day forward, right, what I did, I had a crypto wallet and everything on that old fucking phone that I smashed and I couldn't get into it. I ended up in the end, right, having to pay. I ended up having to get the phone, right, and take it down to one of my immigrant friends in the town and get him to put on a new screen for like £140. And he's like, bro, mate, are you sure that you want me to fix this old fucking phone for you? You know, you just buy a new one for £140, mate, innit? And I'm like, no, I have to have a screen put on this like 10-year-old phone, bro. I can't explain why, but I need it. And this was all because I didn't have my, I wasn't fully connected to like the Google Cloud. So from the next day forward, what I did is I said, screw this. What do I have to be afraid of? I'm turning on all the Google backups, all the Google tracking system. I plugged in to the system 100%. And now I sleep safely at night. I sleep soundly in my bed, knowing that Google is in real time backing up everything that I'm doing on my phone.
Oh. You'd get the vax these days, wouldn't you?
No, that's bodily autonomy. Said that.
Oh, okay, yeah,
100%.
but now you sort of, this is bad for your social credit. That's being tracked.
There we go. Look, all these.
I think we might have to debank you. You're your disease plague rat now if you're not getting back.
I've never looked back since I plugged in. I mean, what's the downside? Everybody's been these privacy bros. You again, the collective you've all been telling me for years. Like, who's that guy who walks around? He walks around a wood, and talks about Linux on YouTube. And he's a privacy bro. And the thing about all this shit, it doesn't work well. Linux and all these privacy techniques, all these privacy tutorials, and Linux, they're okay if you don't value your time. Okay, that's what they don't tell you. If you don't value your time at all or your convenience, then it's okay to do all that shit. Is it Luke Smith? Luke Smith, not Matt Smith. Luke Smith. Yeah, Luke Smith. I fell under his spell for a while. I feel like that kind of shit. This was probably 2019. I fell under Luke Smith's spell of being a privacy bro. This is probably where Brutus got it from, this nonsense about cutting off from the system, using PGP, I don't know, using Monero, all this nonsense. And you limit yourself. You become limited. No. You probably have nothing to hide. Literally, mostly, you're not interesting enough to have anything to hide. What is it that you might say the N-word in a private chat or something? The government's not coming after you for that.
They did. Remember that one woman who was attacked just the other day? She was attacked, and she sent by some guy, and she sent a text message to her friend, and she called him a faggot, and she got arrested for that.
Yeah, but you're saying it on my live stream, bro.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's not like, I think it's unlikely, but it is possible, right? There's not 12,000 arrests a year.
Look, loads of these arrests.
Do you trust our government?
No.
The people running things. No, right. Really. So why give them more power? That's clearly not going to end well, is it?
I don't necessarily want them to have more power. This isn't what I'm advocating for. I'm saying the steamroller's going ahead. Right. you're terrified. People, the collective you is terrified, right, to like join in and be a player, that be part of, you know, I can't get my words out. Exploit the system towards your own ends, whilst we're in the middle of a technological revolution. There's opportunities around every corner just to like take advantage of. What are you going to do? Hide in the woods like the Woodlander? I mean, that's for when he's 60 years old. It's okay for him. It's okay for him to do. I'm not having to go to the Woodlander. If he wants to be Frodo Baggins in the woods, that's fine.
That's very
at his age. Yeah, at his age, you know, most of us will probably do that. It's called getting a caravan. My boomer neighbour's got one, except it's, you know, it's on a campsite, like in Bridlington.
Yeah.
But not at your, not at the collective your age. Even if you're, you know, already old in the tooth. If, let's say you're, you know, even if you're in the you know, in your mid 40s or something, you've still got what, probably 30 years of useful, you know, time left working, you know, unless you get like super unhealthy because you're making bad choices. And then probably AI is going to figure this shit out anyway, and your life's going to get extended to like 100 anyway.
Do you think the AI what is it, the singularity, the AI singularity, you think we build enough data centers that's going to happen? It's not, is it? It's not,
that
is
question
it?
Again. I didn't catch it.
With enough data centers, the AI singularity, do you think that's going to happen? I mean, it's not, is it?
So what do you mean by the singularity?
That
I know what I mean by it.
I'd say for me, it's that the AI becomes actual AI. It's actually an actual intelligence.
AGI.
Yeah.
Right. So for the uninitiated in chat, what we currently have is like, we call it AI, but they're just like
it's an advanced algorithm, I'd call it.
Pretty much, yeah. We don't fully understand how they work.
No.
More comes out of them than what goes in. It's like it's the key, the big discovery was that if you can just train some language models on vast amounts of data, more comes out of it than basically like the parameters that you put in. It's hard to explain, but so there is something there there is some there. But the big breakthrough will be what's called AGI, artificial general intelligence, something that is smarter than any human. People have different ways that nobody agrees upon what AGI will mean. Basically means a self-replicating algorithm that is smarter than any human combined and can research and reinforce its own learning and continue its own development to the point. Now, who was it that called it the singularity? Do you remember?
And if that happened, no, but if that happened, it's the scale of it, outpacing us is just in a day, we'd be finished.
So apparently it's John von Neumann. This is not who Ray Kurzweil popularized the idea. Okay, that artificial general intelligence would match and even exceed human intelligence. Now, this idea of the singularity would be when it just keeps like advancing its own knowledge without outside help, and goes bloop and has the sum of all knowledge and all potential knowledge.
It's a god, basically.
I don't necessarily know if I believe in that,
because that seems to be what they're going for. AI
they're definitely going for AGI.
AI has become a god, these people. And they are willing to burn everything. They are willing to burn everything and destroy everything in this pursuit. It's like the Aztecs sacrificing thousands of lives to make the sun rise. That's what they're doing. We will sacrifice every resource on the planet into these data centers. The data centers are the new Aztec temples. Fuck everyone. Like, fuck everyone. The data centers come first. Just one more data center, guys, and we'll get the true AI. I mean, it's not going to happen.
They definitely want to build AGI, artificial general intelligence that is capable of self-learning, that is smarter than any human being, that is, that lots of people believe who are smarter than you and I. All the big players believe that certainly within our lifetime we're going to develop AGI. Most of the people, like the researchers, the top CEOs, like the head of Google DeepMind, is it Demis Hassabis, whoever, his target, which is quite conservative, is before 2035. Okay, these are not unrealistic ideas, that within the next decade the breakthrough to AGI really could be developed. Now, when you say, though, they're willing to burn everything down, I don't see that. I know that it's a race, but I mean, where's the evidence that they're willing to burn everything down?
Meta are building a data center the size of Manhattan.
Yes.
We do not and this
Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, or just the amount of resources that they want to stick into this, all the silicon, all the power.
Yeah.
There's just going to be nothing for like ordinary people. It's just we are sacrificed on the altar of the AI data center.
That really is like leftist framing. You're thinking like a Palestinian here.
Okay, we need power, right? We need power, right? Imagine if you're in these little places, right? In these places around these data centers, which are tiny little data centers at the moment, they're seeing like a 300% rise in their energy costs. Yeah, this is how it's going to go.
Part of the deal. Go on.
Also,
Finish
you
your thought.
talk about like these smart people. I do feel they're sort of, again, I feel like they've sort of, it's almost like a demonic sort of possession of them. Do you know the H.P. Lovecraft story, Nyarlathotep?
No.
So this is a little, really short one. It's just a few paragraphs. He wrote it in about 1920, and it's Nyarlathotep is this one of his demons, right? And he's this individual who comes into the city, and he shows people these screens in 1920s. Remember these screens that show them the future. And it's like, ooh, visions of the future, and it's ooh, wow. And then he's got all these technological little marvels and gizmos and this science, and it just enthralls people. And they're wow. And then they all start going mad, and he marches them all off into hell. It's kind of it's feeling like that to me. Just these people are getting these visions of AI. Just it can do anything. It will make me immortal. It will do everything for me. It will fix everything. And I just feel you're getting a bit mad, really with it.
I see what you're saying. I think that there is definitely, it's actually a conspiracy theory of mine. I've had this for a while, that elites such as what you might collectively call the tech bros, the Peter Thiel mafia, the ones that have been lobbying governments in America and whatever, but also, serious people in government, that they may be putting all the chips down in the hope that AI solves lots of problems, particularly economic problems, going into the future, and that yes, a lot of bets are being placed on developing AI that will fix things for us, because we're in quite a bit of a mess, and really there's no other good solutions towards this. Like, what is the solution to the government of the UK towards getting our economy going? Currently, nobody has a fucking idea of how to get this going.
AI can't fix this, though, is it? Because everything is fake, right? We've built a system on sand. The foundations all, and you cannot fix that. AI can't fix that. No amount of intelligence can fix that. You've got to just tear it down, and no one wants to do that. which is why they keep kicking the can. They'll come up with some new financial sort of wizardry, and they'll sort of just, oh no, we'll deal with this problem later. Hopefully, when I'm dead. That's their sort. That's been the thinking for decades now.
Well, no, it could figure out the best way to run the economy for tax and spending purposes. Don't you think that an AI would handle the system better than Rachel Reeves?
Well, we understand taxes, right? Like Rachel Reeves being this retarded is not an excuse. No, people know that. What is the what's that level? The I can't remember now. The where if you tax above a certain point, you earn less money. We know all this. This isn't tricky, but
no, she doesn't.
No, I know. Well, that's because she's driven by just malice and spite. She doesn't want the best for country. She just wants to,
I think these are true believers. They believe it, dude. She's not trying to just like burn the country. She believes it. She believes if she taxes more money is going to come in, and then she'll have more to spend on, the labour causes, to give more to the NHS and give more to the working mothers and people. She literally believes this nonsense.
You don't think Labour are definitely pushed by malice? Definitely. Fuck these people. Fuck these kulaks. That's the Labour mindset.
I think she believes it. I think she's just that stupid. This is just leftism, You think if you tax more tax comes,
I don't think it is, because
more receipts come in.
I don't think it is. I think she is a bit aware, at least, because the her recent tax increases. The Labour backbenchers were going, what is this? This isn't enough. Why aren't you taxing them more? So I don't.
Okay,
the Labour
I get that.
Yeah,
they're spiteful in that way on who they tax, like the farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I accept that. They're spiteful in their choices, but they believe they believe the bad economics ideology. Tax more money just naturally comes in next year. Oh, if I increase taxes by 1% across the board, then I'm going to get in 1% more revenue for the country.
I think they do. They do have people explaining this to them, but they are sort of stuck in a thing. Well, of I want more money. Damn. Okay. Well, I'll get more this year. Fuck the future. Just try and pass me over this year. So it is. They know they're destroying everything. They just don't care.
But fuck these people.
Well, again,
these people.
Well, that's also the thing. Who's going to be in control of the AI? Is it going to be our benevolent overlords? I don't think so. I think you're seeing, again, AI is all programmed with explicit anti-white bias, right? So at the ground level, all these AIs are programmed to hate the Anglo people. so I don't think AI is going to be our friend.
Here's the thing, right? This is coming whether you like it or not. And my premise is to the collective you have two choices. I mean, we can't stop it, right? It's coming.
Which is really concerning. Like all these companies, they have gone past consumers, right? We would normally be able to boycott a company doing something shitty, like how they are doing, just completely fucking us all over, all these companies. But we don't really need you anymore. We've got government money. We've got money from the Pentagon. We don't need you. So
this really sums me up, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, and he's so they don't need us. And if we try and boycott, it's just going to make it worse, because then they'll just double down on, well, fuck all of you.
The question,
which is really concerning. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. What can we do?
I get it, but you have to stop being old before your time. When you're 80, you can worry about how the future's not looking like it did when I was a young man. This is not the time to do it now, because you're going to disenfranchise yourself. You're all boomers before your time.
You're the boomer thinking here. Now. Me. What about me? I've just got to secure my money fuck
My
the
bag.
future generations, fuck the future,
No,
fuck it
no,
all. I've
not
got my
fuck
money.
them. No, empower you. This is my message. Is to tell people that like we're in a once in a lifetime opportunity where that we're on the time, right, is now. Maybe what you're talking about, all your fears, maybe they will come true in like 15 or 20 years. Maybe we might end up with some technocratic but leftist, hateful government with some, AI controls imposing a social credit system. Maybe that's going to be the outcome. But separating ourselves from it now in the infancy is only going to, like, if all the smart young people that are amongst us just all like tap out now, then you are surrendering this to the other class of people. No, we need to be players now. We need to get involved. You all need to get wealthy. You need to get active. You need to like.
I mean, I agree with that, right? I think your
Right.
investment stuff is that's solid advice, but it's not gonna pull you out of the system. Like like I say, even if you're a millionaire, that's not going to give you any wealth. That's going to give you any control in the coming system, right?
It'll
Larry
give me a
Ellison.
damn lot more control than somebody
No,
who
it won't.
doesn't have wealth.
No, it won't. You won't have anything. Larry Ellison doesn't care that you're a millionaire. You're still in his system, and they explicitly say it is a system of total control.
Well, then
No meat, no
own
meat, you're not allowed
Oracle,
to eat.
then buy Oracle stock, become an investor.
And but what's that going to do? Does you've got some Nvidia stock, right? Can you call up Jensen and say, "Hey, Jensen, I don't really like what you're doing at the moment"? No, they don't give a shit.
Well, no, not on the small level. I've literally
You
got
get-
2 Nvidia shares, but
Yeah,
so I get it. What about the what if I've got $100,000 of Rocket Lab stock? I get. Well, actually, I just sold a bit, but I still got 1,200
well,
shares.
I've got a plan. I've got a plan for that. We send Brutus into space so he can see the globe Earth for himself.
I've told you, he'll close his eyes, put his fingers in his ears, and go Hare Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, all the way up and down. Then come down and say, "I didn't see no curve, bro."
You had with Mercian yesterday on one of our Anglo gangs. There was some
Yes.
talk about conspiracy theories, and he was going, it's just got to ask why sometimes. And it's like the flat earthers. I just don't know why they think that. Like, what would the conspiracy be? And I just laugh and go, dude, Mercian, do you know who you're on a stream with? And then Brutus explains it to him about how it's about denying God, and what does God look like? Well, you go back to the Vedas, and then they've got the Vedas, and they explain it, and then the Vedas say how the Earth is flat, and then there's the Rakshasa that are trying to eat your soul. And Mercian had the exact same response I had, of just this stunned silence, because whatever answer you were expecting, it wasn't Brutus's.
Brutus, I thought everybody knew. Again, I'm not sure. The only reason I share this, again, I'm not doing it to brag or rub it in or anything like that. The only reason I do this is because I want to inspire people to do the same. I want this for you too, essentially, right? And bear in mind, it just sold 20% of the position and took out 21,000 US dollars. But yeah, look, that's still sat there in the account, 1,200 shares, $92,000, because I invested $5,000 2 years ago, and I didn't look at it. I put it in, right, and then yes, I've been extremely lucky. Okay, I've been extremely lucky, but it was something that I had conviction. I felt like I could see before other people could see it. I took a risk. I thought this $5,000 is not going to change my life ultimately. So I'm going to put it in something that I've conviction in and whatever. And there it is. There, you know, I want this for you people. So, you know, it's a crazy thing. Anyway, where did we get to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that, but that's nothing to do with AI, is it?
And there's nothing, I've said this before as well, there's no good comes from, I've figured this out, no good comes from me sharing the fact that I made some money or talking about money, because people have got the money, look at it and go, that's nothing, and people who don't have it like resent the fact that I'm showing it. But I just want people to know what's possible. We've got to get out of this leftist framing where we believe it's not possible to achieve things, but, and rise ourselves through social mobility. There's never been a better opportunity. And I say this with understanding that a lot of people out there believe we're in the worst generation possible for like opportunities, and we blame the boomers and we say they had it so much better than us. But in these other ways, with like access to opportunities, mainly through accessing the digital ecosystem that we have available that none of the generations before had access to, you can get gains like I've just put on the screen. Okay.
I mean,
that's my pitch.
I'm with you on that, but it is what do you want to do with money?
Make more of it. It's
but
not
you know
enough
what I mean,
yet.
like we all talk about the boomers. They could work a summer job, get a house, start a family, right? And I think for a good amount of people, that's a happy life. Like, oh, what who get, like, I don't care about having a supercar or a yacht or a massive closet full of clothes and stuff. People don't, a good life doesn't require much money, but to get to that sort of that base level that the boomers had so easy is becoming a lot harder for us. And especially as we are tied more and more into having to rent more and more and more. So we're just always on a constant treadmill of needing to constantly give up money to just be able to do anything. I think that's the real problem that people have.
What you yearn for is this. It's security that the boomers had in like economic ways. Houses were like 3 times income or something, 3 times yearly income. Now you're lucky if it's like 9 times, aren't you? So it's like this security aspect. But and today I get it, like jobs are like 0 contract hours and things, but there are more opportunities. There are more access, like via the phone. I can't stress to people enough how like the opportunities that are available in your hand via your phone. If only you lose this fear that like being tracked is something to worry about. Okay, be sensible with what you do on the internet because you live in the UK. Don't start calling people the N-word and text messaging them, things like this and whatever. Probably my advice would be to most people, get out of politics if you can't figure out how to like speak on the internet and not get arrested yet. I think avoid certain topics, like who was it? So somebody told me that like for a long time there were people who used to think that the Jewish question was God forbid that I bring this up, but the Jewish question was something that should only be discussed like in secret societies, because it was too dangerous for the normie brain to even contemplate. And these things were like esoteric things that were talked about in secret. And even Kevin MacDonald himself, the author of Culture of Critique, even made this claim that people like less than 120 IQ just should not even attempt to deal with these things, because A, it'll send them crazy, B, they'll get themselves in lots of trouble, etc., etc. So avoid these things. Focus on yourself, empower yourself, make a 10-year plan, get wealthy, work harder if necessary. You have infinite access to, work on your phone. I'm ranting, I get it, but my message is not to be too afraid yet.
I mean, I did gig work before it became a phone thing. There's plenty of work
What
I did
did you
when I was
do?
younger. Like I know people and they have a job that needs doing, and I do it. Like there was like one guy, he got tons and tons of gravel just delivered that he got cheap from somewhere, and he just paid me £5 an hour to go shovel it along his driveway and in his garden. And that took a few days. It was just easy. There wasn't none of this employment nonsense, none of these regulations. Just like how things always were and always should be. Just okay, get an agreement. Yeah, £5, that's fine, and that's it. We're like, that's so hard these days. Like like employing anyone. I like Mercy said, I sort of do my own stuff as well, and like growing it more is kind of requires employing people, but that's such a fucking ball ache these days. It's like our laws make that so damn hard. Like, just
I wouldn't want to employ anybody
no,
either.
right? Because you suddenly got all these extra regulations and ties and stuff. You've got to give them. You've got to make sure they're insured. You've got to have them payments. You've got to have retirement stuff for them, pensions and holiday time. It's all just a fucking ball ache. Whereas it would be so great if we could just, if that was more feasible of just, okay, here's the thing, and you do this. Like in your Uber stuff. Do you remember what California did with that?
No, what did they do? Then I must address this on the screen, by the way. But yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, this. So obviously, you had all the gig work starting up with like Uber and stuff, where anyone can just go and do it whenever they want. And I agree with you. This is good. This is, you've got some hours to burn. You can go make some money easily. That's great. California didn't like that. So California then brought in all these regulations on Uber, which it was at the time. And I think some other delivery stuff and the same thing. And basically these companies then had to start giving anyone doing Uber in California, treat them like full employees. They get paid holiday, they get all this like pension stuff and things. And that's that's not how it works, is it? It's then just, and I think that's stupid because a lot of these people doing this, they don't want that full-time employment sort of requirement.
I get it. Let me address this on the screen. God's own prototype makes the correct criticism, the commit level that mean. SJJ was gifted a house, who was gifted a house of his own, says the next step is easy. It is true. I live in a house rent-free. Okay, so this is true. But I'm not saying the next step is easy. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the next step is hard. I'm saying it takes hard work, lots of hard work. Actually, I'm advocating people making 10 years of hard work. And, what I'm advocating for is for people to make extra money. If you can't come up with some other idea, was I gifted a house? I live in the house that I grew up in. My parents moved out into a bungalow. Okay, this is so.
Wow, look at this. SJJ just kicked his parents out into the cold. God.
My parents loved living with me that much that they couldn't wait to get out. So instead of kicking me out, they moved out.
He beat them up. He went and studied Muay Thai so he could beat his father and take.
I have not been gifted a house, but yes, I live rent free. I understand that this is a privilege that not many people have. But the other thing is, most people waste way too much money. They spend money on useless shit all the time instead, because they just want like frivolous things that could actually be saved and put. And everybody say, oh, look, this guy, after finding that out, whoa, that I live rent free. Right. But what I also do is I work over 60 hours a week. Okay. And I put this money into, I invest this money, and every penny I've made has been through extra work. I have a full-time job, and then I do extra work. If you work 3 hours a night, 4 times a week, doing delivery jobs, that's £1,000 a month extra work, extra money. That's £12,000 extra money a year to invest. If you can invest that amount of money, that puts you in, I think, the top. I think it's the top 5% of people who are investing in the country. Now, very few people manage to max out their ISA every year in the UK, which is £20,000. I did it for the first time this year by doing these. You know, for the last year, I've been grinding, making this extra £1,000 a month, and I worked harder so that I got it up to like £1,500 a month, where I was maxing it out. Anybody listening to this could do that. The reason why you don't want to do it is it's either belittling to you. You have other commitments. I understand that you can't do, like God's own prototype can't do it because he's got like four or five kids. Okay, and he's needed at home as well as probably his other job that he does. I get it. Some people can't do it for they've got other commitments.
The good old days. He could put his kids to work.
For real.
Yeah.
What's the point of having them if it's not to build an empire? Okay, and like your own company and put them to work in it. Now, I don't want to tell him, that he's made mistakes or whatever, but he should have a family business there. But obviously that's much easier said than done. He needs to like raise some of his kids with the idea. And I by the way, I wouldn't dream of telling somebody who's a father 4 or 5 times over, and I'm not, how to raise their children. So let me just backtrack that. How like obscenely arrogant would that be of me? But what I would have liked as a young person would be somebody who would have raised me with with a goal towards how I would either own in the future when I came of age, when I came of age in my mid-20s, a thriving business of my own that I could have started when I was 15 or 16 or something, and got there. Many of us are not in that position. We're wages. I get it that I have like a leg up on people by not living in a house that I have to pay for it. Go on.
This is my thing. Like, I've always just sort of done work for myself. Like people like call it starting a business. It's kind of, I feel like, and that sort of, people think it's like a lot more complicated than what it is. You can just do work, really. If you can do something that people are willing to pay you for, you can just do that. You don't need to sort of overcomplicate it, really.
God's Own says he's doing that to his kids. Good.
Send them into a coal mine.
Coal mining used to be a well-paid job.
Yeah.
Actually. The miners used to have infinite amounts. My granddad was a coal miner. He used to have infinite amounts of work, like overtime, at incredibly well-paid, high pay. Because it was a shitty job. But these people used to grind 12-hour shifts, and get paid handsomely for it. Now, people generally are work shy today because we're a comfortable generation, and people don't want to get like kicked up the backside about this anymore because they harbour all these resentments about the boomers and their place in life, and we're just not being handed things on a plate like the boomers were. Well, tough shit. Tough titty, when you're not getting handed it, you have to go out there and get it for yourself. And if you don't, if you harbour resentment and just like spin plates for 5 or 10 more years, you're going to probably just imagine if in 10 years time, everybody listening to this, if you're young without the commitments of 4 or 5 kids, okay, and a wife and whatever, if you're young and you have relatively, few commitments, imagine the disaster of getting to 2035 and just being in more debt than you were today. I mean, that would have been a waste of your life. You will have made so many mistakes that you can't get back. Don't be that person,
But this, that's all well and good. But if we're going to go back to our AI topic, our AI
Yes, let's
conversation,
get back to the AI.
I agree with all that about working, investing, and
Good.
stuff. It's just the direction AI is going is not going to save you from that.
But it's going there anyway.
I know, and that's a real concern to me, and I just don't know what you can do about it because all the governments are all also enthralled to this same AI money god. Again, they're all, wow, yes, this is the answer to all our problems. Throw more money at it, pay up taxpayers, more money, and you had reform. The Trump administration are what a fucking joke they are. So you had there was the ban on Nvidia selling the high-end GPUs to China. That was in place for strategic reasons to try and limit their AI development. Jensen shoves his fist so far up Trump's backside, right up there, scratches his colon, and donates. I think they donated like a couple of $100 million to his gay little ballroom project, and so Trump lifted the ban on them selling their GPUs to China. Oh, fucking brilliant, Trump! There's no sort of care from any in the government towards maybe we should make this a bit better for people. No, none of that. It's fuck your zoning, fuck your house. We're having a data center here. Fuck your power costs, data center. And you had reform. You've got Mohammed Youssef, who we'll get onto later, but he's always likes to sell himself as the big tech entrepreneur, which is pure bullshit. He doesn't understand fucking anything, and they're going, "Oh yeah, we'll turn Britain into a AI powerhouse." Oh, such crap.
Well, a couple of things, right? The data centers are being built with power generation in mind. They're having to build like a power. The meta data center that is being planned will have to build alongside it a literal power plant to power it.
Yeah.
So, part of this whole process is like there's these small modular nuclear reactor stocks, the companies that are all the rage at the moment. One is Oklo. I think OpenAI is an investor. It is understood that we are going to need to basically double. America, for instance, where all this is happening, is going to need to like double or triple
That's so
power
insane.
generation in the
That's
next
so
decade.
insane, isn't it?
It is a big ask.
That's
It's a big
insane,
ask.
right? And it doesn't exist. Like you can't just again, like I said the other day on the thing. These tech bros, they're so used to code and that you can just copy and paste. They're now running into reality where you've got physical limits and stuff. Like power doesn't just magic out of the ether. Power stations need stuff going into them. And it's just not going to happen. I mean, what you will get just power siphoned away from normal people.
America actually already struggles with power. Like I was talking to Elliot who's in San Francisco the other day. He was on SJJMAS in the middle of SJJMAS. He lives in San Francisco, like this, a major modern city, and he had a power outage.
Yeah.
He actually posted me. All the Waymos were just like stop dead on the street. They couldn't function.
The electric cars. They want us all going in still. Like there's the power grid cannot possibly sustain that. so electric cars are too much. You're going to throw on data centers. Yeah, it's not. I mean, Brutus is probably right that China do have the edge and power when it comes to AI. I mean, that DeepSeek that they made, they did that really cheap compared to these American AI. I mean, sure, you can't ask DeepSeek what is Taiwan, but still, you know.
So DeepSeek was an inflection point. If people don't know, DeepSeek figured out a way just to like make these things much more efficient. It was like when you have a big file and you use a compression algorithm and it just makes it like 10 times smaller the file size. Something. This was basically what DeepSeek, from my understanding, managed to like figure out. But this is like getting into the weeds. The definitely power generation over the next decade is something that I have to figure out. But it's coming, whether we like it or not. This is the thing. So you might be fearful of how it's going to play out. It's going to be an extremely disruptive decade. 100%. Here we are. We're just like 3 years out, though, from when this shit was invented. Literally, just last month was the first date that ChatGPT came out, 3 years to the day of. They've gone from basic bitch text models to now, doing nearly perfect video generation, etc., etc. So,
Right, and we've got that. We've got there without the insane plans they have, right? And is throwing more and more and more and more and more data centers on. Is it really going to produce much more than that? You know, I think the AGI is, that's not really happening.
no, it is. They're going to figure this shit out, bro. It's going to be absolutely fucking amazing. These guys, all the people involved in the industry. I mean, you even have the AI doomers out there, who I believe are literal like Russian or Chinese useful idiots here. The people like Eliezer Yudkowsky, who wrote a book recently called "If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies," because they believe that you'll unleash this monster that will like gobble up the world because it wants to make is set on making paper clips.
It's kind of doing that with these data centers.
The data center thing is interesting.
These tech bros, you look out over a hill, these tech bros would love it if it's nothing but data centers to the horizon. That's
the question then. If you believe this, why don't you invest in data centers?
You see, I know you're just a filthy, evil capitalist. There is no company too evil for you to invest in.
There isn't. I'll be honest, there is not. Not one. Because you've got to put yourself first here. You've got to find the opportunities where they come and take advantage of them.
I kind of feel there's some rot on the soul, but also I think it is going to all collapse because again, like I said, these tech bros, they're running into hard reality where physical stuff matters, and you don't have that physical stuff for your plans. These plans are all going to fall apart because of that.
Well, the next narrative that has been forming over the last few weeks is data centers in space.
I know, that's mad. It's so stupid. Come on.
It's not so mad. It's not so mad. The reason is because you can put up basically these are just GPUs that are like linked in series. This is all these things are. Like a Blackwell GPU obviously it's not a consumer grade one. It's much more. They cost like $3 million each, and they weigh like 3 tons or something. But they're just GPUs. You connect them in series or whatever, and they pump out huge amounts of compute. Yep. If you put these things in space, they cool better because they are. We understand how to. If Bruce is listening to this, he's going to be holding his head. Bro, space is fake. But look, data centers in space. By the way, I got laughed at literally 2 years ago by a bunch of flat earthers They laughed at me when I invested in Rocket Lab. Who's laughing now?
Oh, they've got to keep the conspiracy going. Got to keep
Yeah.
globe earthers, keep them thinking that.
Here's look at God's own. It will also juice SJJ stock. People ask me what is the next 10x. I wouldn't say go and put it in Rocket Lab because Rocket Lab is expensive here, but there are other plays in this industry.
The thing is, space data centers is really expensive.
They're
You can
currently,
but again,
currently they're expensive.
we're running into the problems of just getting anything into space is expensive. These data centers weigh a fucking tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. Even ignoring the silicon, the amount of silicon you need to mine and dig up. It's just, and how are you ever going to make this money back? Unless it is, again, total control of everything.
Well, I mean, it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. It's expensive at the moment, but what it does, right? The idea isn't to send giant data centers up into space like you would see. You drive by a data center today, and it's like the size of an Amazon warehouse or something.
The ones Elon Musk were posting were pretty big. That was pretty huge. Some of the ones he was posting.
Sure, but
But if you're going to do loads of little ones, again, you're getting into this problem. But you're getting into this same problem. We've got so much shit in space now. It's going to become a real problem of stuff bashing into each other.
Well, they're figuring this out because there's a particular orbit we're getting into the weeds of it here, but there is a particular orbit of where these things would go. Am I sharing my screen here or not? Let's find out. We're getting deep into the weeds of it here, but so like Scott Manley, who's just a space nerd, nothing to do with AI or anything like that, did a video on this why everyone's talking about data centers in space. There's a specific orbit. The thing, because these things need to be in sunshine all the time. How do you do that when you're in orbit is the question. Well, there's a particular orbit known as a sun synchronous orbit, where your satellites basically follow the rotation of the Earth. They remain in constant sunlight. If you do this, there's a particular orbit. This orbit is probably about 100 miles deep. Let's call it depth, like from ground upwards. It probably exists about 500 miles up, and then is for about 100 miles of a band around the Earth. And so the reason why Elon Musk is currently so excited and like talking about this idea of data centers in space is because the first person to occupy this zone of the planet essentially will own this technology, because it will get filled up, and it's basically the only place that you can put these data centers. This sun synchronous orbit, it's this ring around the Earth that follows the night and day line around the Earth in the Earth's orbit. So there is going to be a race to the people who occupy this zone will like win this thing out there. So it may be expensive to do it now. It may be more expensive than building the data center on Earth, but like he who acts now may control the future is the argument here, if I've explained this at all.
Again, this is just,
aren't you excited? Whoa, what a time to be alive, bro.
No, because it's going to be controlled by Oracle and Palantir, and they're going to be planning on how, like, oh, do you have a bit of meat there? Oh, no. Lab slop for you.
Yeah. We're looking at CGI. Yes, that was CGI, obviously.
It's just, you admit it yourself. All these people are evil. And it's just, yeah.
Who's evil?
Okay,
do you think Peter Thiel's evil?
Yeah. 100%.
I just think he's a technocrat. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. This is so evil. This is against the Anglo spirit of this paradigm of total control on us.
But he
Oh,
knows the future's coming, whether you like it or not. This is the difference. It's I see the paradigmatic shift, the paradigmatic gulf between the people who know the future's coming, whether you like it or not, and that we must control it, and the
but we
people
don't
who
control it. A couple of shares in Nvidia isn't
No,
control.
you and I don't. You and I are never going to do it. But
Yeah, that's the problem. No, I don't see anyone good actually being able to control this.
would you rather Peter Thiel control it as somebody who has? I get it, all the problems in that, but somebody who fundamentally wants to control it because they want technology to be fucking fantastic. They basically want the American government to remain hegemonic over it. They want to maintain their influence over that. And they also want, I think Peter Thiel is actually one of these people who literally wants immortality. And they are racing towards being able to unlock it before it's too late for them on this earth.
It's again, we're getting in like, I feel like we're just getting into insane and demonic levels of sort of thinking here. It's so unnatural. Like this whole immortality thing. It's something deeply wrong with your soul if this is what you're chasing.
But I thought you weren't a slave to that religious thinking.
Well, I'm not. But there's
Well,
I'm not
free
like,
your mind then, bro.
I'm not particularly religious, but I do feel like the sort of the idea of it is true. You know, there is like a human condition, and it's just, I don't know. It just feels wrong. You know, I'm more of the opinion that you see evil on the horizon. It's, you know, rather than fighting it, you know, rather than joining it, you know, go out in glorious battle, do something that your fathers will be, you know, be proud of.
It all comes down to being scared of the future or being optimistic for the opportunities of the future. I joked with somebody it was Mercian. I joked with Mercian at the end of the stream last night. Mm-hmm. Right. What if we are in a freaking simulation? And people don't like to hear this. They think it's cringe as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what a time to be alive. If this was a computer game, right? Would you not have chosen this time to be alive to see this like technological future emerge? You could have been born at any point in the last 6,000 years. If at any point other than like the last few certainly the last century, you'd have almost certainly been born into poverty, even slavery. You know, the chances that you were born here right now are like so slim, and it just happened and you're here. So it's almost like, you know, you've got a headset on in another reality somewhere and you're playing your own chosen computer game. You chose to come here at this time, at this point in human history, and to play this game right now. And you're either going to be an NPC and let things happen to you, or you're going to realize that, you know, how do you get to the next level and play this game? SJJ has to be trolling because I'm not. Bro, I'm not.
Well, I mean, if I did pick this time as the simulation, it would be to go in glorious battle, fighting the AI overlords, riding on my horse, riding on my based horse, destroying the data centers. This would be it. But like, are people
Don't
flourishing?
do nothing. God forbid any. I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating.
I do feel you're talking. Yeah, no, of course. We strongly condemn any and everything like that.
Don't live a life where you've done nothing.
Yeah, but it's I feel you're falling into a bit of the progressive view of history, where everything keeps getting better. I mean, would you say? I mean, people are hardly flourishing right now, are they? Everyone's miserable. Everyone's angry. And you go back, like 700 AD. You got the Saxons in the woods. Sure, they had, they didn't have so many shirts and trainers and all this shit, but they were probably happier living that, just, living more fulfilled life with their families, going to battle, all these things. And
It's possible. It's possible. I struggle to believe it's actually, though.
Okay, well,
For the vast majority, it would have been a terrible existence.
I mean, yeah, there's a 50% chance you die before you reach adulthood for like all history. But that's
no
that's
antibiotics, no heating, no.
Are you opposed to hardship? You're not. Surely you can't be someone who's opposed to hardship. I'm sure you see the value in it, right?
I do, actually. I do.
Yeah,
I definitely do. But
trying the technocracy that wants us all in a pod, just with Soma pumped into our veins and the VR headset. That's what existence is that? This is not like human flourishing.
This is kind of like a perspective on where we are in the world, though. I'm trying to tell people that there is an optimistic vision. Yes, you might live in like the slums of fucking Birmingham. God forbid to go, I don't know if Mersin lives in the slums or whatever, but if that's the case, you need to make a plan. I don't want to bang on about this, but you need to realize that at any other time in history, you could have been a slave. If it was like 80 years ago, you've ended up in a massive world war. Okay. And probably, and all the terror and fear and uncertainty of that. If it had been like 20 years before that, you'd been in a Victorian poorhouse or something. If it had been, before that, maybe the 1800s might have been good, but most people were poor. You probably wouldn't have been one of the wealthy ones. You'd have, at best, you'd have been like Oliver Twist picking pockets in London or something.
I feel like you this doesn't seem like you. You really have changed, because I feel like you would have been one of these guys going off on an adventure. This is you, instead of the modern day stuff. The office jobs of what a soulless existence. I mean, I think I'd take anything over that. Just going into some
office jobs suck. I could never do one of those.
And that's what so many millions of people are forced into these days. You go into the grey cubicle with the artificial lighting and looking at some screen, doing emails, and pointless shit.
God forbid. But that's a life choice.
What is this? Yeah, but it's so many people feel like this is all they have, and it's just this point. What is this existence? You're like, chances these days. But for so many, it's just that. And I mean, how would
do
you
something
not
else?
Anything?
Got to do something else. This is why I want to snap people out of it. Snap it out of like vegetative existence and believing that you can't access your own social mobility through your own hard work. Like if you hate being in an office job.
But I agree with you. But again, the question, I'll ask you the same question, but social mobility to what?
Mm-hmm. To what?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the social mobility first. Like, if people are in a shitty, dead-end job, like, unless it's paying you a fortune, like, I could probably sit in an office, and if I was earning £50,000 a year for sitting in that office, it wouldn't be so boring to me. I'd be like, wow, 50 grand coming in. It's not so boring. I'll shovel these papers. I'll pretend to punch this calculator. Okay. It might be mind-numbing, but, 50 grand is a motivator. If you're only earning 25, do something else. Find something else. Like, not to just like say, I've got it great or anything, but it takes 5 days to do like a lifeguard training course, and then you can become a lifeguard in a sports centre. It's an easy, there's so many easy like options that you could do alternatively that aren't mind-numbingly boring, and then you can earn like 25 grand doing that thing instead. Do what? Go and spend 5 days learning to become a freaking lifeguard. Okay, or many of the other professions that just take like a similar course like that, like I did, that aren't mind-numbing, and then on your weekend and whatever, put your brain power, if you've got it, towards making extra money. If you don't have that brain power, use your phone and access gig jobs and invest this money. Make a 5-10 year plan and plan towards social mobility. Now the question is, what is that towards? Well, it's towards financial independence, towards where you can choose to do what you want then in life, that you're not having to do any of these things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I do feel I feel we're sort of you're taking on the WEF atomized individual perspective a bit, where because like most people, the majority of people who try investing in the stock market themselves just lose all their money. Right. So this isn't an easy way out for most people. And again, going back to what the boomers had, where most people could just get that simple life. They didn't need to be big-brained investors. It was just, I can do some honest work with my hands,
Sure.
and I can everything that you could possibly want. And that was a great time. That was a really great time in history, that you could own a house, have your family, not have to worry about going hungry. And this was great. And this is so much harder now. You've got to go through all these more hoops of, well, you can have your shitty job, but now you've got to do some gig work on the sides, and then you've got to also invest it in good things that pay off. I mean, that's great. I'm anyone who can do that. Anyone
This is
who
good
can
pushback
yeah,
on screen.
Yeah, like you, I'm really happy for you. I'm glad it's worked out, but it's just, most people aren't you, right? Most people probably won't get that, and I feel sorry for them. And it's just, why should I leave the rest of my people behind? Because I do feel like the atomized individualism is that's done so much damage to Western society. Because if you look at us, we're both Englishmen, and go back enough generations, the two of us will be cousins of some sort. We shouldn't just
Were you a
disregard our
Viking
family.
rape baby too?
Probably.
Okay.
We shouldn't just abandon the rest of
Hail,
our family.
brother.
I feel like.
Let's address this. I'm showing survivorship bias. I think this is good pushback.
Yeah.
I probably can't counter that. What this guy's saying, what Wild Bill of 247 is saying, is that I got lucky, and so I'm saying everybody else can just do that too. I'm like, and it's like 1 in 100 or something who managed to do what I did.
Yeah, like your £5,000. Yeah, you can get that. But what happens when that fails? Okay, get another £5,000. That fails again. It's that will be the case for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can sort of stick. You can stick it in the big funds. But
What if I told you I'd already done this? What if I told you I'd already done this twice though?
Yeah, people win the lottery, don't they? I agree with you.
I'm not a financial genius, and somehow I've already done it twice because I did it with Palantir too.
Yeah, I agree with you that it is possible, but most people do fail. That's just the reality of it.
I got a 700% return on Palantir. So my I look at this.
I think you're just investing in evil, isn't it? Find the evil companies.
No, what it is, it's.
Rocket Lab aren't evil. I'll give you that, but
what it is I think, I don't know, and I'm not people. Some people listen to this and say this guy knows nothing. He's extremely reckless. He's maybe shouldn't be promoting this to certain people or whatever. But I think there are certain trends that you can see coming. I think you can see the trends yourself. People in this chat, we can identify them. It's just like a frame of mind that's different between whether you identify what's coming in the future, and you see it as either opportunities and you take some risk with that, or you sit back and you build a cabin and solar panels like the woodlander does. The woodlander can see the same things we can, except he's isolating himself away from them. I'm throwing money at it, and it's paid off, in big ways, and I may have been really lucky. But what I'm saying is other people could do the same, because we can. Well, I don't think I know. I'm not smarter than probably anybody here. So if I could do it, other people could do it. And you could also do this in a lot less risky way than I've done. Other people here might have more capital even than I have. They just don't have a risk appetite. They're afraid. But at the bare minimum, people don't save, whether they invest or not. And I think it's a real mistake for people to not look at investing. It's not taught to any of us. Nobody on the distant right talks about it. We weren't taught it at school. It's the way that the capital class the capital owners make all their money. All Elon Musk's money is in stock. All Jeff Bezos's money is in stock. All Larry Ellison's money is in stock. All Trump's money is in stock. These people are invested, right? Now, there's different risk profiles that you can take, but at the bare minimum, people should spend less. Okay, make a plan towards financial independence in like 10 years' time, and save money. Try to save. If you can't save £1,000 a month, which I think you can with hard work if you're young and you have free time, and you just spend less of it on the internet moaning, then try to save £500 a month, and put this aside, and that's £6,000 a year, and £6,000 a year over 10 years is £60,000 a year. And you could just put this in premium bonds, or you could put it in high interest savings accounts or something, but it's a lot more money than you would have by doing nothing.
Time has value, though. A lot of people, they spend it doing, I don't know, just wasting it on watching OnlyFans, say. But you can't just be just working all the time. You see that in like Japan and Korea, and just how fucked their societies are because of this never-ending work, of just hours and hours of just all you do is work. And you see them, they sort of get up, they fall asleep on the train going to work because they've had no sleep. They work all day. They go back, fall asleep, back to work, and this is killing their societies. So just work isn't all that healthy.
Most people are wasting their lives anyway, though. I'm talking about these people. I'm not talking to God's own in the chat, who has 5 kids and a life. That's the other wealth. Okay, that's the other type of wealth. I haven't got that wealth. I'm talking to the people who haven't got that. If you're just like for the last few years, I was just bored on the internet and just like wasting time. Now it's become, I feel like it's much more healthier to focus on something. I've gamified it in my mind so that I feel like, because I'm making progress, I feel much more accomplished. I feel like I'm getting somewhere. It feels good. It's motivating. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of motivation. I honestly think most people just need... it's also the limitless nature of like the work available via these gig opportunities. I'm not saying, it's just like the answer to everything or whatever. But having an infinite amount of work available, it's like owning a business, but for a peasant who can't own a business. Because with a business, you would be putting like infinite amount of hours into your business, and if you were seeing the rewards. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. It was much more rewarding doing this than what I was doing before.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like, it's and I appreciate the sort of gig work from the side of things. Like again, like I work for myself, like Mercian does, and it's nice knowing that it's just for me. I'm not working for someone else who's sort of whatever they're paying me, they're making more out of whatever they're paying me, and then I can. I mean, the down like, and then you have the freedom also. I can take a day off whenever I want, but I'm not getting paid for that day. That's sort of the trade-off. You don't get any time off, really, any paid time off when you're doing your own work. But I feel that it's still worth it.
You don't have to dox what you're doing, but is it a business or is it like freelance work?
It's kind of just work I do with my brother.
Right. Because what
Again, and
what
I do it with my brother, which helps. Family helps. We don't have to go through any silly sort of regulations and stuff with employment. Like I was saying before, like
Brutus
like,
is
I'm
right.
not-
You are a gypsy, aren't you? You go around collecting collecting
right.
tin and metal and things, don't you?
Like it's
on your horse and cart.
like there's no
Any old
equity.
iron.
Yeah, there's no equity in what I do.
Right.
Like it's not like, again, that would sort of require going to. I can see how I could do that. I could build it more, but again, that involves like hiring people, and then you're getting into all this extra shit that I'd rather not deal with. Which again, well, I mean, that's our government's fault, really, for just making everything so hostile to anyone trying to get ahead.
It's definitely a big step. Making a big step is all. There's all. Whenever it's the incremental steps of like what I'm doing are so much easier. Like it's just like, do I go and deliver 2 more burgers tonight or not? It's like, so it's so simple. These are so simple things, and then it's just a matter of motivation. Well, I'll deliver 5 burgers tonight or I'll deliver 10. Well, be motivated, SJJ, and do the 10. Okay, it's like this, and then gamify it, and like, wow, pat myself on the back at the end of the night. Didn't you do well? And
Now,
then I
one
look at my
thing-
bank balance. Yep.
Now, one thing that you're saying about people saving money, they should absolutely stop using Deliveroo. 100%.
100%, yeah.
It's I want them to take this
What
away from you.
retards.
Everyone watching. Take this away from SJJ. Stop his
Do it.
delivery. It's,
Yeah, you idiots.
I,
But then again, it's only like £1.50 for delivery.
but again, the meal though, like, why are you wasting so much money on food? And like,
Sure.
a lot of it's
Yeah.
shit. A lot of what you're getting, you're paying delivery for McDonald's or something. What is wrong with you? McDonald's isn't cheap anymore, right?
I never eat out or drink out. Anything. Not once. Ever.
Again, with me, it's very rare. Like I'll do it on like family birthday or something. We'll and I've never used delivery, any sort of delivery thing. I've gone and picked them up and brought them back myself. Because that's. But again, this is one of. This just seems to be this food delivery shit. Just seems to be such a waste these days. And
Definitely,
I don't know,
100%.
I've got someone who lives near me, and they seem to eat out or sort of get deliveries just about every day of the week. They cost huge amount. They're not rich, but they must be wasting thousands and thousands of pounds every year on this shit
There
that they
you
don't
go.
have to.
Yeah. I think I did a post about this. I did a post about this on Twitter. Basically, if people buy, if people, I think it's, if you spend £10 at lunch, wait, let me do this sum. Let me do this sum quick. 10 times 52. Yeah, if you spend £10 a day, 5 days a week, which lots of people do, they go to work, right, and you either buy a coffee at lunch, or a coffee and a sandwich, or a coffee on your way to work, and then a sandwich at lunch. About £10, right? This is a low amount people spend. If you do that 5 days a week, all year, that's £2,600 at the end of the year that you've wasted. You've wasted £2,600. Now, stop doing this, you idiots.
And
Again,
then
pushback. No life for not wasting my money on superfluous nonsense.
Spending £5 on a cup of coffee is not a life. That's just retarded. You could bring.
I
Your
get
own
the
coffee
point,
if
though.
you
I
really
get the
want
point.
to.
It's like, how frugal is he actually being? Very actually.
I
Not
mean,
spending a
and
penny.
I am far from an accomplished chef, but I feel like if I just get some nice ingredients, basic stuff that I know where they came from, like some nice bread, like I much prefer the stuff I make compared to the shit they serve in most shops. And it's a fraction of the price, but people waste so much on that.
Do you know how exciting when you've like gamified money? I think people are just allergic to money. Actually, people don't
I
realize
think
this.
you've become a Jew, haven't you? This is how they work.
David's just messaged me. Actually, I messaged him at the start 2 weeks ago, and he said he will come on SJJMAS. I don't know when I'm going to fit him in, but we'll have the real Jew at some point on SJJMAS. Yeah, God referring to me never going out. I don't think people realize how exciting and enjoyable it can be to save money, to not spend it, and to see, once you get into this and you gamify it, and you're like, wow, every week the amount's going up, and you feel like you're succeeding. And I want people to get into this vibe. It's I think go on. I don't have.
I never
was gonna play a
found
little video, but
a lot of these sort of the typical going out stuff. I never found much fun. Going to clubs and stuff. I always hated that. Noisy nightclub is hell to me. I hate noisy places. I hate crowded places. This is just absolute hell. And that's so expensive if you're going out drinking in clubs. And so that's an easy way for me to sort of save money. I don't just not engaging in that.
yeah, me too. Honestly, I hate all that shit because I don't drink,
Yeah.
and so if you don't drink, you automatically just. He said when you witness drunk people, it'll just like you're like, what?
This is what I've tried explaining to Brutus. Have you ever seen yourself drunk? You kind of look.
No, he hasn't.
It's not good, is it? No one looks.
Everybody's retarded.
Good. Yeah.
Everybody's retarded. But in terms of the money thing, right? This is like the retort that I would give to anybody who's like, just like, wow, you're a Jew.
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to hate the rich, isn't it? But do you have the courage to hate the poor?
Real that wow, 1 hour 43 minutes in, and we finally got a based statement from Tharium.
I always say, despite the circumstances of my birth, I feel I have an aristocratic spirit, and
Excellent. Here we go. Now we can vibe.
I was born to oppress peasants. I just feel like this is my true calling in life.
Being poor is a mental illness at the end of the day. And I've been there, okay? I've been
I
there.
have as well, yeah. Yeah.
No, you should have seen when I lived in Thailand, by the way. Yeah.
Well, we could mention that. So you've got your sort of anti-authoritarian sort of streak. You're still clinging to liberalism a bit, right?
Yes, I think so.
Right.
I want my
mean,
freedom
like-
to do what I've been talking about on the
Well,
stream.
authoritarianism doesn't mean, a lack of that, though. Like, Thailand is a military dictatorship. And,
Yeah.
don't insult the kings. But beyond that, it's pretty free, isn't it? Probably more free than we are.
Yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, I'll be honest, it's a shithole.
Really? I hear nice things
Yeah,
about
it's a-
Thailand.
No, it's a shithole, bro. At the end of the day, you hear nice things about it because you can go to nice touristy places, but at the end of the day, it's a second world shithole.
But so what
Have
are
I
they
ruined your illusions of it or something?
I mean, no, I'm Thailand's way too hot for me. It's way too hot. But I mean, so
Yeah.
what would you say they're missing?
What are they missing?
It's not so bad,
mean-
is it?
Well, what they're missing is like, I don't know. There is a soullessness about. I mean, I just don't like the soullessness can be in the other just the other cultureness of it. Just like the fact that they don't speak English. That yes, they should have been put to the sword by the English basically, and then it would be so much better. Now
Obviously,
today they'd speak
yeah.
English, and that would be so much better. Like I went there and I trained at an English gym in Thailand. I know this sounds crazy, but yeah, like the owner was an English guy of the gym that I ended up going to in Thailand. So I did my best to avoid the Thais as much as possible in a weird way.
Well, it's funny you talk about that being soulless when, I mean, your sort of technocracy is the very pinnacle of soullessness.
I don't think it is.
Just living in the goon pod, really? The AI virtual reality goon pod. I mean, how is that?
That's a choice, though, isn't it? That's a choice. That's a choice. We've never had so much access to entertainment and the full access to information. People underestimate how amazing it is. Like we're all here, sat on the internet, deriding technology, or the collective you lot are. All the people have been throwing fruit at me in the chat all night. You're all fucking plugged in. You love it. You love it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You're choosing to do this, over the other things.
This is one thing I thought about when you're talking to Mercian. Do you ever just unplug for periods of time?
Sure, yeah. I go to the gym. Unplugging is working.
What is gym? Okay, so like an hour. That doesn't count. At least a day, just without.
Oh, a day?
Like yeah.
No, bro, no chance.
Oh, you see, that's. I feel that's very healthy. You should be doing that. Because I'm like, whatever. Like, go camping, go walk, experience the world. I mean, like, what am I missing by because I did this. Like, I'll go a day not just uncheck. I mean, what am I missing? I'm missing posts from Brutus telling me that space is fake, right? You don't need all this constantly to be plugged into everything. It's just,
well, here's the thing. I did unplug from a lot of the politics stuff and just the nonsense.
well, the problem with politics is the old Thucydides thing. Was it Thucydides? Can't remember. But the whole thing about just because you don't care about politics doesn't mean it doesn't care about you. That's the problem with politics.
Sure, but you have to understand that what we're doing right now is like intellectual masturbation. We can't. You and I can't.
Oh, this is just a pub talk. This is a pub talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we can't. And it's, but people have always done this, right?
Sure. I mean, somebody posted up here in the chat, like you could put your time into creating a YouTube channel. Well, look how many fucking hours I've put into creating a YouTube channel. It's like not very successful, is it? So what a waste of energy that is, other than accepting this is just like intellectual masturbation. This is entertainment value. Now, other people who are more creative, if you could do it, then yes, create a YouTube channel. Like somebody, right? Somebody with creative intelligence listening here right now could like super monetize like what I've been talking about gig work, because what you could do, there's real money to be made by people watch people do these gig jobs. It's a thing on YouTube. There's one called London Hustle who just films him delivering like Uber Eats. You could do they're really interesting videos, right? There's a real audience for this shit. If you were creative and inventive, you could tomorrow choose to go and like try out delivering Amazon packages, buy an Insta360 camera that just puts on a magnet on your chest, video like your first week of doing it, create a video series about this, upload it to the internet, and with your creativity and your skill, like make 10 times more through the creative side of making something meta for consumption of people who want to be voyeuristic of you doing that than you would actually doing the thing itself. There's a guy on YouTube, a Zoomer called Go Herping, who actually does this. And where is it? Here. Let me share this guy. This guy, he's mastered this art, something rotten, and like he will do mundane things, but via his channel that he's grown massive, so 600,000 subscribers, like make video series as about it. This is like smart. This is like the way to gain the system. Look here, he was doing Amazon Flex, but really, it's not that he's doing it for the $19 an hour. It's for the $1,000 per video that he can get by making the video about it. This is smart.
It kind of does talk to a absolute civilizational decline, though, doesn't it? You talk about all the entertainment we have available, and this is it. Really, it's just, what are we doing?
Like he bought. One other thing he did was on credit. He bought a Tesla to then put it on Turo, which is like a where you can, it's like Uber Eats but for renting out cars. You can rent out your own car, and did a video series about that. He's has money, made the value of the car, etc. by just making videos about it. This is like a, if you're smart out there, think about how you can do this kind of stuff.
You're sort of just falling for this.
He's black, but he's smarter than the rest of us.
But you get, like, where is the sort of human flourishing in any of this? Like, the mukbangs, the people who just eat food and film themselves. Some of them are huge. What the fuck is this? What is this society? That people are just, that you can get so, that a few people get so rich just shoveling food in their mouths. What are we doing?
Obviously that's terrible.
Right? And then OnlyFans, fuck me. The huge profits on them of just everyone sort of outsourcing their relationships to OnlyFans which is actually some Pakistani sending you all these messages.
Well, the real sad thing about OnlyFans is that there are millions of girls like shoving, let's not be too rude, but doing that on OnlyFans and making just like £50 a week.
Yeah.
It's only like one or two who are making like $1 million.
The average is about like $100 a month, I think. The average sort of pay that they get, which
you completely monetized your vagina.
Yeah. But you see, I mean, I think...
but they believe they'll make $1 million because they've seen the other girls do it.
I feel like this is a big sort of psyop, really. They all are sort of overlords are pushing with OnlyFans, because you see all the articles about, oh, so-and-so made so many millions, when that's like, 100 people on the whole website. But it gets all these young girls thinking, ooh, I mean, yeah, and they're not going to get that. But it's just all about just ruining everything human about us. everything about society is these days. And I wish I had more answers to fix it.
The slop is real and corrosive, 100%. We're in a we're in a disruptive decade. So disruptive.
That is the one thing about your OnlyFans, your AI. I mean, it's going to put loads of AI thoughts out of work, even for that.
It's also going to put out of work loads of Indians. I don't think people realize this. These jobs are going to go by the wayside. One thing Elon Musk has...
This is quite dangerous, don't you think? You're going to put this dream of the AI, how it's going to put everyone out of work. I mean, that's not good, really, is it?
No, it's definitely a concern.
Yeah. Like you give all these, especially the young men, right? They've got nothing to do. There is like what you're talking about, the gig work. That's gone. That's all been done by robots now, right? So you got all these young men. What are they going to do? They're going to start causing trouble. I don't care how much you throw all the OnlyFans at them. There's going to be a large amount who I just want to break the system because that's what we do.
This is why I think it's so incredibly important that people who hear this, I want to put the seed in your brain that you have a decade to become financially independent. Don't waste this decade coming, because I look at like the job that I do, and currently I can't see. I think it's definitely a decade out for people, for actual. It's so hard, actually. It's such a complex problem in this country because of how badly designed housing estates are. Like Amazon, who has been delivering packages to people's houses for like a decade already, have finally kind of figured out where most of its customers are. But even still, it's not that intuitive. People don't have numbers on their houses. These housing estates don't make any sense. You just think because your street is like number 2468 on one side and 1357 on the other, that every street is like that. No, you go into streets where it's like 1955. There'll be two ones next to each other. No, it's like, what the frick, bro? The houses that are back to back, all these things that are really hard to figure out.
Fuck the computers, they were thinking ahead.
They'll
never figure this shit out.
Yeah, so I think it's like at least a decade away to, unless they literally fly them in and drop them in your back garden, and that's really decades away. But what Elon Musk has correctly identified for all the bullshit that he comes out with is that the jobs that are going to go are the ones where people are just pushing buttons on a keyboard. If your job involves pushing keys on a keyboard, AI is going to replace you.
That is one of the things I do love about it. All the journalists are going to go.
The coders are going to go.
Yeah. But but they do plan on everyone though. And like they're mentioning UBI in the chat. Yeah, that's not going to save the system. Again, you've got people, you've got these young men.
So it's going to come back to trades. In our lifetime.
Oh, I agree. Trades are great.
I cannot imagine in our lifetime, and this could just be like the falling short of truly being able to see the potential. Even I am like super bullish, may just not be capable of seeing where things can go. But I just can't imagine, even in our lifetimes, that a robot, for instance, would be able to like go up into somebody's attic and like find a leaking pipe and replace it.
Yeah, it's like I see like things like robots doing in screws and stuff. That's nothing. It's stuff. The real world is so much more complicated than that.
Like my shower pump broke, and there was water leaking through the ceiling, and like for a plumber to crawl up in my attic space and then find this is like really, there's so many steps beyond that. Robots can do that now. No, they freaking can't.
No, Yeah.
You know, there's nobody that can go up and crawl through
No.
my attic and
Yeah.
go and find, locate the problem, diagnose it, then go and get the freaking correct shower pump for my coal-fired boiler system. It's just like maybe in 25 years that this. No, they can't, Martin. There's
Yeah.
there's no
No.
robot that can do that yet.
I mean,
If
you've
it
got
is,
the
tell me, I'll
Boston,
buy it. Where is
you
it?
got the Boston Dynamic ones. They can do a little dance, right? Yeah, they can't do what you're talking about.
I'll buy one tomorrow if there is. So the trades are going to go last. But Elon Musk is correct. Anything that's just inputting things on a keyboard or analysing information on a screen, that's all going to go.
Yep.
Which means we can send many of these people back.
Well, from that, we could get on to who's going to actually send them back, because it seems like nobody is.
Our friends in Reform.
Oh. Have you noticed that they've been trending down? Probably not, because they're not plugged in, but their support has been trending down more recently. And I think because you're chatting with David, right? And have you noticed that a lot of people are sort of thinking, oh, wait, Reform are all full of shit. And that seems to be growing. Like as I mentioned, like people are plugged in, they're sort of generally a bit ahead of this stuff. And Reform code as the Rights for Whites party, but they're just not. And I think people are realizing this, and especially when you've got Mohammed Youssef, who's running the party. I mean, you stick a foreign Muslim in charge of the right-wing party. What is... I mean, that says everything. And he's explained how just the other day, Mohammed Youssef said his aspiration is to deport 170,000 people. What is that? We need about 25 million gone. And this is the far right party wants to get rid of just 170. It's such a laughable joke. And I hear cope from Reform fags about how Nigel's just hiding his power levels. No, you don't stick a foreign Muslim in charge of your party. You don't stick foreign Muslims in all these sort of other positions. It's such a joke.
Look, you heard me talking with Mercian yesterday about how, I do worry about the economy, because if the economy collapses or there's serious pressure on the economy, then it's all for nothing anyway. And we have to figure out a way of doing this, because people will just clamour for it anyway. And if it's done in the wrong way, people dismiss this. But if it's done in the wrong way and it collapses the economy, then then it's like you've blown your load, you've had your shot, and you'll be blamed for it.
I kind of think I think that there is. I mean, it seems inevitable that there's going to be an economic collapse coming, right? You got all this AI bubble, everything's all fake. We're still sort of fucked from the 2008 stuff. So this is happening, and I feel like we are kind of ideally placed for it, because you got Labour in charge, and you get a big economic collapse with Labour in charge. I mean, they're already fucked, right? So you throw that in, that's just going to compound it. Like, these leftists, they're dead. America, I think, is in real trouble, because it's going to hit with Trump. And that's going to completely fuck over the Republicans. Then the Democrats are going to get in, and they're going to consolidate their gains completely. Because I see a lot, like with Trump, I see a lot of thrashing around right now. Like, they're not really deporting people. They lost their trade war with China. And I feel like Trump is just flailing. He doesn't know what to do. Everything's going wrong, and it's beyond his abilities. And plus, Trump's got his real ego problems. So
Joe says, "Who cares about the economy?"
Well, you do.
You when you are made unemployed. I mean, you might.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody cares when they're made unemployed. Now, yes. Here's the thing. I don't foresee a collapse coming. I'll be honest. I'm not in the collapse bro scenario. I don't think it's a bubble. This AI, it's bubblicious. There are, stupid companies around that are popping up and just will like die by the wayside. But that doesn't mean
You have all the usual signs, though. Like I remember you did a tweet about the Black Friday spending and how it was up from last year, but that was all inflation. Only 1% less stuff was actually bought. And what's more important about that Black Friday spending is that 95% of it was done on credit, which fine, a lot of people will just use credit cards and pay them off. But of all that payments, about 67% of that Black Friday spending is not going to be paid off on that debt, which is way up from it's normally like 10-15%. That's sort of what isn't paid off normally on these debts. And it's up to there. That's really bad.
I posted this. You probably missed this. I posted this where I said, show me the bubble. Right, because people talk about this bubble.
I can't see anything.
I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing it.
Okay.
Hold on. This, and I'll pull the graphs up one by one. Right, I picked. Show me the bubble. Everybody's screaming that there's a massive bubble. Right, here's Meta year over year. Where's the bubble? Okay. Here's Apple. Show me the massive bubble.
Show me Nvidia. That's all.
There's Nvidia.
Micron,
It's actually much lower than that now, because Nvidia's like 180 or something. So it's come down from this, and then Microsoft. This isn't
this is just like this is just a year.
Territory.
We've been sort of building up real shit since COVID, really, especially when the money printer just went burr. Right, and it's got all the signs, and it's like you talk about statistics. You can talk about statistics; they don't really count. And everyone say how people feel is generally what's correct. Like everyone feels like London is more dangerous now, and you can have Fraser Nelson come out with some bullshit statistics about no, it's not. Well, it is, and everyone feels bad. No one feels good about anything.
I posted this as well. Meta does $54 billion of free cash flow with a forward price to earnings under 20. Show me the bubble. And if people don't understand what that means, forward earnings are the next year's earnings that they intend to come. So the price to earnings is 20 times what their next year's revenue will be. So it's these companies are making real profits. The difference between the dot-com era, that was all hype. The companies were not making any money. Meta makes $60 billion of profit per year. So they can spend $30 billion in a year, and they can spend the 60 and all, and that's their profit for the year. These are real companies with real profits, and that's the real difference now. I don't see the bubble. Now, I do think there could be some corrections, and it'd be very rocky. It's obviously not going to just go up and to the right the whole way. We're coming into midterms in America next year. This is usually a downturn in the stock market. So, I'm not telling everybody just go and put your money in the stock market. Wait for your opportunities. If you see them coming, crypto's down. The government shut down in January again. The tariffs might unravel. All signs are suggesting next year could be very rocky. But the general trend over the next decade is that we're in an AI race. Each of these companies are in a prisoner's dilemma. If they stop spending, then their competitors win. So I just see there being lots of gains over the next 5 to 10 years.
Do you know
Opportunity of a lifetime.
Do you know what Jim Cramer's saying at the moment?
Go on.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
He's actually not that his record isn't actually that bad. He just talks about so many stocks.
I think there is one. I think there's one stock tracker that do the opposite of whatever he says, and it's actually
Yes.
made money. So,
Oh my god, conflict of interest. More people that, I mean, technically true, but as if I'm moving the needle with this chat.
yeah, this is all just propaganda, manipulating markets. Oh my god, you're
I
worse
wish.
than Nancy Pelosi.
Holy shit. I wish. It's like when people joke, like when you joke. Well, I don't know if you joke, but like, is there a company that's too evil to invest in? As if you move the needle whatsoever with your, like, you know,
It has a
$1,000
cost on your soul. It has a cost on your soul.
What
It's
has a
like-
cost on your soul is losing the money that you could have made.
It's like Brutus has said about what is it? Not infiltration into political parties. What's the term? Like I'm calling blank now. But where you get in.
Oh yeah.
You
What is it? Oh my god, we're both having a brain fart here, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, where you sort of you go into these political parties, keep your sort of keep quiet and hope to take them over. I feel like that's. First, I know people who tried this with the Tories, at just the local council level, and they get kept out. So you've got to just lie for the whole thing, and you just for years and years and years to hope.
Entryism, by the way.
That's it. Yeah, to have any chance of getting anywhere, and I feel like that will have a toll on you. You're sort of just always lying, just living this lie in this sort of.
I couldn't live a lie. Couldn't live a lie, but I could buy Palantir and not feel sad. Not one iota, because I know that it literally has zero effect on that company whatsoever. Me making a trade on Palantir with my little bit of money does nothing to support the company whatsoever.
What about like Disney, one that really hates you?
Yeah, if you can make money off of Disney.
Oh, yeah, you're so lost.
No, but you're not helping the company with your $1,000 of investment or whatever. Yes, if you had 500 million, if you're like one of them, if you're like, for somebody who might be a Warren Buffett or so, a hedge.
I mean, it's a collective effort,
fund
though.
manager.
You can look at what like the GameStop stuff. Yeah, collectively, people did sort of hurt that hedge fund by buying up GameStop stock.
That was, you say collectively, yes. That was a squeeze on a stock.
Yeah.
But again, through the internet, through viral, through Wall Street Bets, which is a Reddit forum.
I will say to Total Tech, I'm not a doomer. Like, we will have total Anglo victory. It's just I don't see the path yet, but we are going to win.
Good, exciting. I'm glad. The question is, do you each win individually along the way? In 10 years' time, where are you going to be? And are you just waiting for the country to fix itself? Like, Joe hates all this chat, yawn, money, and all this kind of shit. The country's going to hell, blah, 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 blah. But all those things are happening anyway. We can only intellectually masturbate about them. Even Sargon, with his platform, I make the metaphor of he puts like a feather against the steamroller in terms of influence. It's incredibly hard. Don't fool yourselves. We can intellectually masturbate about it here, but it's not solving anything. And if you're not solving your own situation with a plan. Like I wanted to say to Mercian the other night, I forgot to say it, but I wanted to say, like, if you're running a business, are you holding yourself to account like you would be held to in a corporation? Like, are you, if you had a public company, you have to come and report to shareholders and say next year, in the next quarter, we're going to grow by 10%, and we're going to have a revenue of this and a profit of this. And are you holding yourself to account in that way, like somebody else would hold you to account for towards your own growth, and making your list and checking it twice, or so that you don't stagnate? You've got to save yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I'm just hoping for collapse, though. I think there's real opportunity in collapse. Even your investment stuff, right? Collapse is the best opportunity for that.
Well, even Tharium
Yeah.
sold 20% of Rocket Lab
Yeah.
2 or 3 days ago to have dry powder.
Was that so you could start your own crypto coin? Like
SJJ coin.
Wild Bill is saying, yeah.
No, I'll never scam. I'll never scam.
Did you see Trump did that shitty Trump coin? I can't believe that. What a joke. Like, that's the most obvious rug pull there's ever been.
That was obscene.
Get his most loyal fans. I think it went up to like about $50, and now it's like $4. Idiots. But I mean, that's, yeah.
The entire crypto scene is full of scams. If you're ever contacted by anybody with investment advice, ignore it. It's a scam. Nearly every coin other than Bitcoin and Ethereum is a scam. It is a rug pull waiting to happen. If not for nothing else, then they don't have the market cap and the liquidity available. So when something happens, oof, the rug can be pulled from under you.
I bet there will be a sodding reform coin that Mohammed Yusuf will pull. Because
not that you can't make money on them, but you just have to be ready to pull the
really
chain
makes
yourself.
money, though? The people who make the money are the ones who hold it all in the first place. Which will be Mohammed Yusuf and his Arab buddies. I mean, I get that reform, such a fucking joke, just selling football shirts and fucking badges and all this crap. Like, what are you doing? They should be coming out as just actual racists, but they're not.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, why are they going down? They're going down because people are realizing, oh, wait, this is all a fucking joke. This is Tories 2.0 again. Like, I know a lot. I know people in the reform base who are who were like activists since day one with reform. Really, they got involved early, and they were really hoping that this would be their party and that they could change it into something. But Mohammed Yusuf and Farage have made sure that that's just not going to happen. They control all of it, and then they're getting in these Tories to make sure that they'll stay that way. They're going to go into alliance with the Tories in the next election, no doubt.
Based, actually, that might be the best thing for them, to be honest.
Why? Why? What about our people?
Because
these
thing
people
is,
hate us.
I worry, Tharium, about where we're heading. You want
I think it's
reform
going to be bad.
to just collapse into nothing.
Yeah.
What if that just means another 5 years of Labour? What if that means we get 5 years under Ed Miliband?
Right. I don't see the difference. Like, this is what I've sort of grown tired of, is voting for the less shit option and pretending I'm happy. You're still eating shit either way. Like, you can imagine, like, if the Tories had won the last election, right? What does that send to them? That they can do the Boris Farage wave, and we're still going to vote for them. You're just going to get more of that.
I do have real
Gonna get
concerns
more
about
shit.
reform. I have real concerns about
Yeah.
reform. I've not
I
really
think-
expressed them to you, but
I think they will likely be the most corrupt government ever, from just how they're talking. I think they're going to pillage. Farage is not an honourable man, right? And I feel like I also think he will likely. I think it's a good chance he will just totter off from bad health shortly after he's elected, and then they just institute Mohammed Yusuf as prime minister.
yeah, I mean, nobody's talking about it. I've not heard anybody mention it, but like, did you see this? This scandal.
Yeah.
This was huge. I mean,
Yeah.
people poo-poo the Russia stuff. I do not. I really consider them to be a civilizational rival. But whatever you think about it, this guy admitted the lot of it. Literally just taking literal brown paper envelopes of money to ask questions that were scripted, that were sent to him via a script, and he read them out word for word by some Russian Kremlin agent. He admitted 9 counts of bribery. This is just like
think that-
insane.
This is going to be all reform. It's like I think they're just like, not just Russia. They'll take money from anyone because this is what they are. Farage will do that. Mohammed Yusuf can't wait to sell us out to his Arab mates. Have you ever heard him talk about Dubai? That he loves Dubai, and that's what he wants for us. Really, just open us up to his Arab mates, and that I just do feel they are going to pillage as much as they can from the country. And again, I mean, this is also like, just so fucking annoying because there is a chance that reform get in and just, they're going to be like, we know they're going to be. Is this going to have a backlash against the right? Is this going to push people more socialist? I would hope that they collapse and people go, get serious, right? None of these fuckers, right? We get something more serious in charge. I mean, but yeah, are we beyond voting our way out of the problem at that time? Possibly.
Russia poses zero existential threat to the British people, whilst the British state does absolutely existentially threaten us. This is just Duginism on steroids, though, bro. I mean, I don't want to
it's
get
not
into
really.
this, but
I mean, Russia aren't
No,
going
it
to invade
is.
us. They're not going to invade us.
no, they're not going to invade us. But they have engaged civilizationally for decades now in disruption, in attacks that you don't see. They are waging a war in Europe. I don't want to get into the Russia thing right now.
I mean-
but it's a literal mafia state. It's a corrupt shithole. They don't think the best of us. They blame the Anglos for all the evils of the world. These people do not have yours and my best interests in mind. Putin wants to, restore the glory of, the Soviet Union that he feels, Russia was, betrayed on, be under no illusion to that. And he's waging a war in Europe,
I feel like, but so's America. I feel like if we were a real country, we should have plans for war against France, Germany, Russia, China, and America. That's what a real country would have.
Well, sure. I mean, sure. You won't hear me say no against that, but I'll just put this on the screen. Like his. Where is it?
I love that the Russians think that
There you go.
America.
There's Putin's philosopher for you.
Yeah, I love that they think that America is controlled from London rather than from a certain place in the Middle East. Where'd you get that idea from?
St. Petersburg a fucking shithole. Are you losing your mind? No, there's like Moscow and St. Petersburg. There you go. I'll give you those two. Okay.
Look
the rest
up,
of the place is a basket case.
St. Petersburg is a very pretty city, but look up St. Petersburg at Eid. Yeah.
I mean, they're waging a war on. If we have to do the Russian thing, they're waging a war on European soil, right? With a 30% Muslim army, Chechens and North Koreans, soldiers, right, slaughtering white people. Okay, I don't like it. I find it despicable. I find the fact that the whole dissident right cozies up to this kind of shit, excuses it or whatever, is utterly disgusting in my mind. I hate the fact that everybody's brain has been poisoned to this kind of stuff to excuse it, and like the academic agent goes and cozies up with the Duran creeps, are obviously on the Kremlin payroll, and they just excuse this kind of shit because the West is like gay or something. It's just insane.
The thing that bothers me most about it is I'm not one of these pacifists. Like, I'm quite pro-war, but we get nothing from war anymore as just a vassal of America. It just fucks us. America can, they can pillage. Well, certain, elites in America can at least make money from pillaging other countries, like they're doing with Ukraine. The plan with Ukraine, this peace plan, is for all these American corporations to go in and just pillage everything they can from Ukraine.
Well, we'll have to be rebuilt. We'll have to be rebuilt, and there'll have to be incentives for doing it.
Yeah, which is them just pillaging all the resources they can out of Ukraine. America is doing this. And this is one of their plans along the whole time, really. America wanted to pillage these resources since day one.
One man's pillage. I get you. Ukraine is going to get
fucked. I mean,
under settlement, they're going to get screwed over, but
you're
particularly by the Trump and JD Vance government, which again I'm not happy with their position on this. They do look like they just want natural resources from Ukraine.
Yeah, but it's bigger than them. This is the American State Department. Doesn't matter who's in charge; they'd be doing this. You're also seeing how they're pushing that Ukraine is going to have to import loads of Indians and third worlders, more immigration to rebuild Ukraine. Yay! Wow, that was worth it, wasn't it, Ukraine? I really feel sorry for just the ordinary Ukrainian people who just they're just getting fucked from both ends with this, really.
But they were in such a the situation, right? I mean, as nationalists, okay. Yep. As nationalists, I just can't abide. Like my friend Wyvern, fair enough, who lives in Ukraine, and so he is bitter about this to the extreme. I don't go as far as him, but he makes the point that like millennial woes would just say, well, why don't they just surrender? And he like makes the point, what kind of fucking nationalist would say that? These people do not want to be part of the Russian influence. Again, they would rather die than do that. They're committed. They're being invaded, and they've said no. And for somebody outside to, like, cast that, well, why don't they just fucking surrender? Is like, no. What a disgusting attitude to take. They've chosen to fight. All they're asking is for people to support them. And as a nationalist, I don't know how you can't give moral support to them. To do it, they're using Chechen battalions and from North Korea to go in and slaughter these people. It's disgusting.
Well, the moral support, I get, but that's cheap. You get a lot of these people who they're happy to sacrifice no end. There's no end the amount of Ukrainian lives they will sacrifice so that they can say they don't like Russia. And that's, what a brave position to take, right? And so that doesn't really count for anything in my case. But I do like, this sort of surrender talk. There is the reality of war. Ukraine have lost, and
they haven't.
There's currently a pocket, right? There's this pocket where the majority of the Ukrainian forces are, and the Russian forces are surrounding it. In a few months' time, they will be able to completely surround that, and then all of Ukraine's fighting force is dead, unless they come to some sort of agreement.
We've heard this for years. Though.
No, this is actually happening, right?
Well,
And
let's see. I mean, it's
you've got the case that Ukraine have gone through 2 or 3 mobilizations now. Russia's only done 1. It's the just the manpower is not on their side, unfortunately. I mean,
Russia is not a good army, though.
No.
They're corrupt as hell. They've lost. They lost in Afghanistan.
But neither is Ukraine. Ukraine aren't great either. They're also corrupt as hell. They're like a lot of the same problems. The Ukrainians
now, though,
have.
they're probably the toughest army in Europe as it stands, just through the experience of fighting this modern warfare.
I mean, it's made the Russians a lot better as well. Unfortunately for us, that's. But I mean, I'm with you on the better to die in glory than just surrender. But if that is the path you take, you need to accept that. Well, that's that. Your enemy has no chance other than to completely annihilate you.
So some of the frames as well around Ukraine and Ukraine is really I just don't get where it comes from, other than it being like a Kremlin active measures operation. It's so disgusting. Some of how it's framed for these people who literally are fighting for their lives. Their homes are being invaded, even if they're mistaken, even if that's what you believe. What courage for them to be going through this and putting up such a fight that we get such people just saying such nasty shit about them, like, oh, why don't they just fucking surrender? And oh, they're just going to get taken over by Africans. And
I think it's because Ukraine is unfortunate. There's lots of wars going on that the West, that we're just generally not involved with, and no one cares. But the fact that our entire political system is heavily invested in this is what gives people pause. And again, because if I was American, I could look at it as like, well, we're going to be pillaging them, so there's that at least. But we're not getting anything. Like, the plan is just we give them more money and we get nothing. Whatever the result is, we get nothing. And that's kind of
what we get from it. Here's what we get from it. Is that whatever Russia ends up with, because let's be fair, let's face it, they're going to end up keeping some of the public, but it's going to have been so costly and so enormously challenging, at such cost that they receive such a bloody nose, and a broken jaw, and whatever, both their arms blown off, metaphorically, to accomplish this, that they don't try again for a very long time. And because these kinds of land wars in Europe just can't be tolerated. It can't be permitted. You can't have like what people were saying, just surrender. That would have rewarded Putin if he tried to bomb Kiev on within 3 days. He thought the country would topple and that they would extend quickly to occupy the whole thing and be on the border of Poland.
They hoped it would be a couple of weeks and they'd have the whole thing, and that failed. So they have certainly taken a knocking. But
so then we'd be talking about tensions on the border with Poland or whatever, and then there'd be questions about, well, there's some Russian speakers over there who are, these instead, it hasn't been rewarded. It has been enormously costly for them to do this. And so the geopolitical thinking is that you have to make aggressive wars extremely costly to try and prevent them from happening again.
But one of the things is, it has been costly, but Russia has grown through this. Like, their fighting force is a lot better now. They had all the sanctions placed on them, so they've effectively managed to get off the dollar, which, I mean, the global dollar is one of America's superpowers. They've managed to get off that. It's pushed them more into the arms of China, which is really bad geopolitically. You don't want Russia and China together. You want to separate them. But it's pushed them into that. It's come up with new ways of selling the oil through other countries, through India. So Russia don't need the dollar anymore. And so other countries as well, under like America's influence, can see, you know what, there are other ways for us to sort of break out of this system. America, Russia being more independent isn't good for us.
They're on a war economy. I don't know how much we can. It's definitely cost them hugely.
Sure, but
Ukraine manages to like blow up their ships. These $500 million ships. They just blow up a $500 million submarine. These these costs.
Absolutely.
But it's huge.
But you're sort of putting them. They have sort of been able to build a stronger foundation for their country through this cost, which isn't good for us going forwards.
It's worrying that they may wish to stay on a war footing. That's worrying, for sure.
I mean,
that there may be no way out of their economic situation than going for war.
One of the big problems that Russia does have, though, is because of how fucking awful they are. Putin is so suspicious of everything, which is just how leaders are, in Eastern Europe. If you're a bit bad, people kill you. So he's made sure that there is no successor in place to him, because he's worried that if he did that, they'd just kill him. So, and he's an old man, and a Russian old man. Russian old men don't live long, so he doesn't have that much longer left in him. I think it's going to be really messy when he kicks it, because you're going to have all these different interests all fighting each other to get control of it.
Did you see Xi Jinping and Putin in September were at a conference and they were heard on hot mic, and what they were talking about?
No.
It was hold on, it was here. Not that, but this. Right, they were heard on a hot mic, and what they were talking about is achieving immortality.
Okay.
Of the high-profile meeting of several world leaders, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping were.
I mean, what a bunch right there. I mean, come on.
Overheard talking about advances in the science of human lifespans. The brief exchange was caught during a live news video feed of Xi and Putin as they walked with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Their words were inaudible, but their translator, still on mic, can be heard detailing parts of their conversation.
No, it's not.
So these are old boomers hoping to cling on to power.
This is the global boomer problem.
This is what they talk about, bro.
boomers cannot accept mortality. I think that this is part of being human, like accepting your mortality. This chasing after immortality, it's a madness. It's never going to work.
The Bricks Master Race right there.
Plus, and also the problem is, okay, I can change your organs out. You can keep people living, but the mind rots. You can't stop that. That goes. You got maybe like 130 years tops on that. And then what are you? You're just meat then.
Real. But I want the immortality future too.
No,
I'm not bound by the slave religion.
So you gotta live on through your children. That's how you achieve immortality.
I agree with that, and it's fanciful for us to think like in immortality terms. But I would like it'd be great to, some life extension. I think 200 years would be great. You know, healthy years.
I mean, like they're
we don't
saying
have
like
enough
70.
time. We don't have enough time on this planet. It's really not enough for what I want to achieve.
All the
It's
deliveries
not.
you need to make still.
There's not enough time, bro.
No. But
Especially if you're ADHD,
and
time seems to go by, boom, like that, and it's gone.
I mean, there is like they say, oh, you wouldn't live to 70, but you know, people did in the past. Like we have people in the like 1300s who are in their 70s going into battle, right, leading battles. Like, yeah, it's just yeah.
I used to
You
believe in
can't-
this, by the way, on screen. I used to honestly believe I would die before 40. When you're in the sport that I got into, every day, all the time, you're convinced. I mean, my mum wouldn't even come to a fight because she, just feared that I'd end up a vegetable and that she'd see it happen. And so, I basically put my family through hell for 10 years. Just terrified of me. It's why why now? I want to give back. I want to I want to do things for my parents who I put through hell for 10 years worrying about me.
Do you know that you've seen that tech bro who's like the immortality tech bro, who's doing all the goes through all these
Brian Johnson.
That's him, yeah. You've seen his stuff, right?
I
What
have,
a
yeah.
fucking miserable existence.
That is, yeah. So
Like every second of his life is all planned out with all these injections and pills and sitting in the fucking red light thing. What is this existence? Oh, let's say you get another 100 years. What is the point if this is it?
what I hope for is that AI will uncover something to do with the telomeres, like your
It's all bollocks.
the
Like
DNA,
some of these
the
people
copying
who, like,
mistakes. Your telomeres get shorter. We
Yeah.
understand kind of the science of aging, why it probably happens, and there's probably there is promise that there's probably a switch that can just figure this shit out, and it may just be simple as a pill, and then you get a we'll either probably just extend lifespans by probably double with relatively easy fix or nothing. We'll achieve, it'll be probably one or the other, and there's hope for that second one.
Can you imagine the chaos of people not dying?
Well, in terms of the economy, people can work longer, can't they? They can pay for their own retirements.
But I mean,
Just finally have enough time to save up.
I mean, we need to have some really big wars if people don't die from old age.
True. I'm not necessarily against war. Like I say, the Ukrainians should fight that Gook army, definitely. What is wrong with SJJ? I think
so
that's
much,
the
isn't it?
question of
So
the
much.
night there in one. Definitely. Well,
He's worried about poor little Amazon's margins. Got to import more Indians to help Amazon's margins.
Amazon's margin is 11%. That's all it is, right? Here's again one of these big evil companies that people hate, but they make 11%, and what a service they provide. I said it on the stream with Mercy. It's like magic. Your grandfather couldn't envision a time where you click a button on your phone and a product appears at your door with 12 hours later. He'd be like, what sorcery is this?
My grandfather was busy first fighting wars and then running a farm on Rhodesia. So I think he was happier, really.
It depends, doesn't it? It depends. I think you'd be bored. There'd be times when I'd be bored.
You got brain rot. You got Zoomer brain rot. You need your TikTok shit, it always stimulating you. I mean, the kids these days, they are so fried. You see, like with Cocomelon and stuff, all these stuff that young kids are raised on now. Do you know Cocomelon?
No, I'm trying to think. I've no idea what you mean.
It's this. I think they are the #1 YouTube channel now, but there's just this brightly coloured shit for kids, and it's like just nursery songs for like really young kids, and everything about it is picked, like the colors, the songs, and everything is picked just for maximum mental stimulation of these kids. So like there's like it's not so much for us because our brains are old, but when you're a new brain, you've got all this. It's all jumps between everything. It's like fucking cocaine, and you are just frying the synapses of these kids before they even have a chance. And you see them. There are these kids who are addicted to this Cocomelon shit because it's the only thing that just hits them in the head. I feel like kids are just fucked now with how all this is.
Yeah, the iPad kid generation,
Yeah.
which is Gen Alpha, is going to be wild.
Because it's all the flashing lights. Pew, pew, pew. It just
I
never.
worry about their social integration.
They're
Definitely.
fucked. They're all fucked. We have just like they've been spawn camped. Really, they came out of the womb. Here you go, fucked. Like you can't. This is. Yeah, I'm worried about them.
I have an older brother. He has 2 kids, 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to train them to be little martial artists, but
Yeah.
they're just not interested.
How old are they?
They're nearly 10.
Right. You see, like when I was that age, I would have loved that. Like I was in a when I was in
too.
that age, I was in a
Trying for like
karate
3
club.
years.
I was in a karate club about that age. And when I was did that for a bit, and then I was always going like off in the fields, like finding sticks and like sword fighting with imaginary orcs and stuff. Yeah. Or I can just sit in front of like TikTok slop and just have the lights beaming into me.
Yeah, there's no better age than, I'd say the perfect age is about 8 years old to get a kid to a karate class, find a good one. It doesn't matter that it's not like great for self-defense. That's not the aim for a child. It's the discipline, it's the routine, it's the story behind it, it's the putting on of the uniform, it's the belt system, how you earn your stripes, you earn your belts. It's the the art form, the practice, the fact that you've got a teacher that you perform to and look up to, and then all this is so great for kids. And about 8, 9 years old, when kids can't finally stop being so like kids, young kids just clumsy. They can't they're not very dexterous.
They don't have the motor skills.
Yeah, but around that age, they start getting better at it, and at that time you can train them into it. It's perfect. It's so empowering, but just can't get no interest.
Yeah, and that's what boys would always do. Boys
SJJ
always
doesn't even know what martial art he went to Thailand to train.
he learned
What the-
Sistema.
What the literal fuck is that comment?
SJJ learned Sistema. He's
Oh, is that because I
yeah.
didn't know the origin of? I couldn't tell you the esoteric origin of Muay Thai. I got it half right. Who cares about that shit, bro?
But this is what boys have done for all history. They learn to
Yes.
fight at this sort of age. If you're from like more well off, you get better teachers. But yeah, generally this is how you should be. This was for me. I had all my sort of stuff at nights. I always wanted to be a knight growing up. So all this stuff, this is what a knight does. You learn to fight.
Yeah. 100%. Boys should be taught sports, manual stuff. A boy needs to learn that he can manipulate his environment. If he hasn't done this in an instructive way, and he learns to do that, then for one, other boys will learn it, and he will become bullied. Or two, he'll learn it at a later age, suddenly, and without any control over it, and potentially like become a dickhead or whatever. Like it's the potential for like just, get the adolescent spurt, around 13, 14, 15, where you suddenly get your testosterone, your body transforms, and, whoa, suddenly I'm, strong. And, so.
Especially in these sort of single parent households, a lot of them. I mean, I
know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with a single mother, right? So this is me, but I don't know.
Is she black?
You caught me, SJJ.
Caught you out there. Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I think for me, like I said, like I always wanted to be a knight. I don't know. I had these sort of more romantic role models rather than kids these days who was like fucking Kai Cenat and stuff, and these hype beasts who are just cunts. So when they do get like this, what are they going to be? They're going to be cunts, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah, you need a male role model. Yeah, 100%. Get your
Andrew
kids to
Tate.
karate.
That's the other one. You see the government plans to teach boys about how bad Andrew Tate is. Fuck me. I mean, that's just going to have the opposite effect, really. Unfortunately.
Yeah, can you imagine what are they doing? Getting in a classroom. Boys and girls, boys, here is somebody that you mustn't watch, that you mustn't listen to. They'll be like instantly going and watching, won't they?
Look at him here telling you how boys are best than girls. Awful. Don't do that.
I understand the appeal to Andrew Tate. Especially adolescents, because you've had the big boot of feminism on you and political correctness, and you're told, all this shit about egalitarianism, and then you find out on the internet there's this guy who says, no, all that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm again still stuck in that sort of old chivalry thing. I will still like give up seats for women and stuff, even though it's not appreciated. But that's just me, because I feel like that's just the right thing to do. But it's again, why? There's no reason for me to do it really, because it's not appreciated.
Well, that's not egalitarianism. You're doing the opposite. You're doing chauvinism, aren't you?
No, yeah. Bad.
Which is.
But I think
egalitarianism would be to sit there and say, no, I have equal rights.
Exactly. But Andrew Tate is sort of more the person who go, no, fuck those bitches. I'm a man. I get the seat. Which, it's not great.
No, it's not.
I mean, I think South Korea is. I mean, they're so fucked with this because with the divide between the women and the men, with the women just hating men and the men hating women, they're on a really bad path at the moment in South Korea.
Yeah, Asian societies are just opaque to me, though. It's really hard. We can't understand it over here. How I don't know if they're correctly categorized. They truly are opaque. Unless you've been and lived in one, you don't realize how little you understand of their ways, how different they are, and how you will only ever be a tourist looking in.
Yeah.
At the best of it. So it's
like PewDiePie. He's gone to Japan and he loves it, but he doesn't have to really be a part of the society because he's got his money. So he can just go around enjoying the sights and stuff, which is great for him. But yeah, if you ever had to actually live as the Japanese do, that would be rough.
I mean, after a while, I'm sure you can get a good, decent handle on it. But I mean, us here looking in, from afar, or me, like the guy just going and spending a year there. People go and like spend like 6 months or a year somewhere, and they like come back and tell they act like they have that inside knowledge to the place. You don't at all, especially if you can't speak the language.
One of the ones I just could never stomach would be Dubai. I could never go there. And I really don't get the people who are like, okay, they're sick of how things are here. I know, let's go surround myself with even more sand people.
Even more of them, yes.
Make sure that they really will have the whip hand over me somewhere where I know I am the second class. Just don't get it.
Yes.
And what, again, for like what? For less taxes, a bit more money. What? What, so you can buy a new handbag? Some new trainers?
Well, one of the reasons might be to move there if I become a crypto millionaire, because there's no capital gains tax. So, and then you'd have to live there for 5 years. But I've been looking at other options. There is the Isle of Man.
Yep.
Isle of Man has no capital gains tax. I'd have to live there 5 years, but I can move there without a visa. If you're Irish or English, you can just move there. So that's looking like the candidate right now. Because what am I going to do if in 2035 Ethereum has 10 or even 100x'd? Bros, I'm going to need a safe haven to cash out in. I'm not giving the government another 18%. So legally, of course, by the way, government listening to this or getting the transcript, legally, of course, tax avoidance, not tax evasion, we're talking about here. If you go and after 5 years, if you go and become a resident in in the Isle of Man, then you are under their tax system, so you can then cash out tax-free. That's the way to do it.
I'd have thought that, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I'd have thought that they'd be on the same sort of stuff as us.
No, it's independent.
I mean, it's not really. It's not really, though, is it? You know what I mean?
I don't know how it's classified, but they have their own tax system that is separate to the UK. But we have by treaty, if you're Irish or British, you need no visa to go and live there. I think Jersey is the same, but Jersey has strict laws about who can go and become a resident there. It's the housing. Houses are only allowed for Jersey.
Well, I did see that Jersey have been bringing in all the immigrants again, all the Browns, and what a surprise they are! They are, getting together and forming their own political groups. You just can't. The slippery slope, I do feel, that's really the case with immigration. You just can't let any of them in.
SJJ, the hashish fiend. I'm sure this person is just like a bot saying random things, just like putting random words together.
Yeah.
I'm literally Bill Clinton. I've never inhaled.
Yeah.
So, hashish. Tharium, it is 3 hours, bro.
It is. Yeah.
We are going to close this show. We have outlasted Morgoth on Millennial. Can you believe that? Morgoth has been on Millennial tonight. You've missed it, everybody. There he is for 3 hours. They did 3 hours 90 minutes. They must have started earlier than this, but we've outlasted them. Here they are.
Into the system, and it'll come up with a range of passports. So basically, if you take somebody's photo, and then you've got access to certain parts of the Home Office, then what will come up is that a picture on a passport to match the photo that you've got.
The fucking photo ID, man. It's coming in. It's just going to take us all over, isn't it? And I'm not having it. I like my chips. I like my fish. I hate my digital ID.
I am trying to be more accepting of people really at the moment. I'm trying to make less enemies. I feel like that's good. Like we had Dangerfield, an Anglo gang, the other day.
Yes.
Dangerfield is a junkie art student. Me and him, we really don't have much in common at all. But my only real sort of thing is, do you want my people to continue existing? Right. So this is why. So Civnats, fuck them. They are all the fucking enemies. Every Civnat needs to get on the boat. They can be deported along with the Browns. Because I'm not having this. I'm not having this shit anymore of their constant. Well, how do you define English? They all fucking know. They all fucking know, and they're all playing these silly games. I'm not having it anymore.
Shots fired at Harry in here.
Yeah. I just can't. And then that Peter McCormick guy, it's just, I'm so sick of it. And they all know. They all know that the ethno-nationalist position is the real one. But they just, this is the, was it Morgoth? I think it was Morgoth, actually, the hatchling, which is what they all play. I don't know what an English person is. Oh, fuck off.
Sure.
Again, like the Steve Laws interview with Liam Tufts. And the best part of that was when Liam's going, "Is my Ghanaian mate footlong British?" And he said it himself. His Ghanaian mate.
Yeah.
He's gonna, they all know. I'm just not having it.
We're not having it.
Even like AA. Like I'm sort of, I've softened on him. I'd be happy to talk to him,
bro. Come on, oh my god,
I'd be happy to talk to him. Although recently, I feel like he has been getting a bit gay, even more gay about stuff, because AA does suffer from Peter Hitchens syndrome. I feel, where whenever anything he believes starts getting a bit too popular, he then sort of has to disavow it. And you're seeing this now, like the idea of remigration is picking up steam. We're getting places with this, and he's now coming out going, "Look, it's just impossible. There is no chance that the government will ever want to get rid of 33% of kids in schools. That would destroy the schooling system." It's like, well, you're selling me on it, AA.
I get it. I'm naturally antagonistic to AA just for historical reasons. But I also, I just feel highly suspicious of him and his background. I wonder the Iranian connection. His parents live in it. You made the joke.
I think his parents go back and forth, but it is.
They live mainly there. He let it drop on a stream that they live most of the time in Iran, and they basically have a holiday home in the UK now. He let that slip. I think they have 2 homes in Iran, he said. Yeah, crazy, for supposed exile.
Yeah,
because
because the story with his parents is so his father came over and like working as an engineer, met his mum, and they were thinking, his Welsh mum, and they were going to go back to Iran, but then the revolution happened. And so like, oh, well, that's going to be a problem. So they stayed here. I mean, I don't know how things are in Iran really, but yeah, it's
somehow they have property over there again, and wish to spend like 8 months of the year there.
But
Quds agent, you said once.
Yeah, Quds Force is paying him. Won't surprise me. But again, like we've got so many enemies who openly want us dead, right? And all the Civnats, they all want us dead. It's like, I don't need more enemies, really. I'm happy to be, at least, I'm happy to talk to anyone, really. Yeah, so long as you want my people to continue existing, I think, okay, we've got grounds there.
Yeah, 100%. The only place that I differ, and I fully agree, I'm fully still on board that train. The only place that I disagree is I feel that we have to do it with our economy intact and our institutions intact. Like, I feel it's a massive... People like are advocating shit like, destroy the BBC. No, if you were serious, you'd want the BBC intact, because what a powerful thing it is. Like, you come into power, you can just suddenly wield it to your advantage and all its soft power. Just to destroy it before you take over is
Well,
like...
you would have to destroy it. Like, you can keep the name, but you would have to destroy everyone inside it and replace them.
Oh, well, gut it out.
Yeah.
Replace it with... But yeah, I mean, we need the institutions intact. Otherwise, you know, we don't want to be living in ruins. And everybody needs a 10-year plan. So,
yeah.
Tharium,
SJJ.
this is the end of the show. It's been a real one. I think it's been the longest one. I think we had a good battle. I don't know who won.
I did.
The chat, I think, would agree. But the chat's always wrong. So, Tharium, what should people subscribe to? What are you doing?
I mean, there's Anglo Gang on Brutus's channel. We do that every Sunday. Let's get Brutus monetized. Get him up to 1,000 subscribers. I am a romantic spurg. I am. I just long for the old days. I'm very old-fashioned. Yeah, that's the main one.
Is that it? What happened to that thing that we used to shill for yours? Is that are they civ nuts?
Oh yeah, they're gay. They're gay. They're very gay. Basically, so I got so sick. I got so sick of, because Harrian's channel, it became, because Reform broke that man. It just completely destroyed him. He's just so fucked in the head, and every stream was just a fight of me bickering, going about how Reform are full of shit, how no, Mohammed Youssef is not Scottish, and all this shit. And I was so sick of it that I just decided, you know what, this isn't worth it. I'm just fighting. I'll just quit. So I walked away.
And that's the same for that. What was it called? Something with a W.
The Worsted Club thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all faggots. Everyone watching. Ignore them.
Yeah. You heard it here first, bro. Right. Well, go and watch. The Anglo Gang continues over on Brutus's channel. That it goes well. It's got Mercy on and Tharium on. They've been on my show back to back now nights. So go and support the continuation of the Anglo Gang.
Well, you'll be back on as well.
I have to come back to argue some more.
Yeah,
but,
you can't stay away. You know, you think you can escape Anglo Gang, but it claws you back in. There's no escape.
Bit of a red flag, says Colin, that Brutus keeps changing his name. He's literally, it's about the 15th name change, to be honest.
Brutus is the village crazy, okay? You just got to accept that.
I don't think I've ever told Brutus I was listening to him in like 2016 in the summer or something. He was on the podcast with Sven Longshanks that used to get posted on the Daily Stormer, which I'll not be spoken of, but so it's just wild, like, you know, I realised this, like, whoa, I actually used to listen to the show way back then. Weird. Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. OG. So that's it, everybody. Thank you to Tharium. Thank you all for being here and outlasting the Borgoth stream over there on Millennial, which you can now go and tune into if you want and listen to him bitch and moan and tell you that things boil his piss. Good night, Tharium.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
By 2063.
And Merry Christmas, by the way.
Oh,
Merry
yes.
freaking Christmas. It's almost 2 hours away. Okay.
It is, yeah.
Don't stay up
Christmas, everyone.
and see Santa
you
Claus
have a-
coming down your chimney.
Do you have a nice thing planned for tomorrow? Anything nice?
No, go see my parents, go see my brother, come back, and I think I'm going to stream with Claire Court in the evening, because Christmas evening is just boring. There's nothing to do, so there's no work available. So
I'm sure you could find a Deliveroo, right?
no, it's the
No?
apps are shut. I think the apps
Oh.
are shut. I think the apps are shut all day. So
Wow.
Tharium seems a lovely fellow.
I'm not. I'm
Say-
really not. I'm not.
No, we're trying to get out of here anyway, everybody. We're trying to get out of here. Merry Christmas to one and all.
Well, no. Some people don't get a good Christmas.
We're praying for a white Christmas. Okay. Good
Yeah.
night, everyone.
By 2063, Britain will be minority white British. Is that a concern of yours, Apple?
I'll be long gone, put it like that. I think that...
As many people in my father's generation, without personalising it through him, and people slightly younger say, I'll be dead in 20, 30 years. I hear this all the time from people. I won't be here to see it. I won't be here to see it. I met a chap who's a moderate Republican recently from Ireland. Non-Ireland one, nationalist. And he said in 50 years, Ireland will have, this is the Republic of Ireland, will have a non-white majority. In 50 years. It's probably 60 or 70 actually, but you know, who's counting, you know. The truth is that if they have the immigration that South London's had in 60 years, they'll be in a minority in their own country. All this IRA violence against us, all this fighting for their own independence, it won't matter a damn. They'll be in a minority in their own country. What was it all for?